Alrighty, and we are live.
Hi.
Live, it's alive.
We are waiting on one last player to show up, but who would like to start out with today's recap? Don't everybody jump in.
No one ever wants to start this.
Because I'm bad at explaining stuff.
All right, so let's see. We woke up in some kind of weird ritual thing buried up to our necks in stone. And Misaki and Ark were able to get us out.
Then we found all Kibble's stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
And Ark made the connection between the teardrop symbol and the teardrop room.
So then we found a token of Moradin on some giant skeleton.
Celestial of some kind.
Let me see. We went down, fought some more Baz guys, fought a Death Knight.
Fought a dead dragon.
We played a little bit of pinball with said dragon. Extra ball of death.
And then we threatened the big bad evil guy.
And he laughed.
Yeah.
After killing his own men in front of us.
I did warn him. I just want to be on record as saying that I warned him.
You did.
Yeah. You all talked some mad crap for people that couldn't even avoid getting teleported.
I willingly jumped in.
Let's see. Then
we all
had a breakdown and ran away. Got beat up. Got beat up by some orcs. And beat them up as well.
Sure, Misaki beat them up more. I got us a tree after killing a bunch of orcs.
And
then Drawhook lightened everyone's spirit because you all are a bunch of downers. We won. We won.
We got Misaki back to the...
No, we survived. We didn't win.
Did we not accomplish our goal? We got the stone we were supposed to come for, and we confirmed that, in fact, shit is real.
Do we know if that was the stone that was here to begin with, or one that he just gave
Doesn't
us?
matter. He sent us to get a stone.
I assume it was the one that was there to begin with.
Yeah, he said it was the ivory one. He said we could have it anyway. Then Ark did a little extreme makeover cave edition and made a makeshift bathtub for Misaki and made a little makeshift curtain, and that's where we left off.
Yeah, me taking a bath.
Alrighty.
Draco standing in supernatural darkness, wondering if it worked.
So, with that, you guys ended up taking your long rest at the end of that day. You awaken once again having rested, with your wagons there in the cave. The smell of bacon grease and sweet bread pervades the area. Kibble has prepared a light breakfast of corn muffins and pancakes with a few links of sausage reconstituted from your supply of dry rations. Naivara, as you wake this morning, you do feel that the tightness around your limbs is slightly heavier today. Not a noticeable encumbrance, at least more noticeable than normal, but the weight of them seems to drag a bit more than it had prior to your time in the Hollow Mountain.
Right. I don't like that, so can I just try to dispel that again?
You sure can.
Just straight up D20?
Yep. With that, no, it does not seem to be making much change.
Fine.
We determined what it's even doing?
I mean, something. What was his name? Something started with a B. Baylor, something like that. He made a pact with somebody in my family tree, and I think it's coming back to haunt me.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The family tree, and then one of my ancestors was in it too. Which, that's a whole nother series of questions.
I can't remember what his name was. He was like the Beast or something.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence roll while I look that up. Honest DM notes.
Go ahead and determine if I need to continue this task I'm performing.
That is true. Oh gosh, what session was that? It was not the armory.
When we first got to the mountains.
Let's try session 1.
Session 1's a little far back.
Now, session 1 of this particular chapter.
Oh, okay. Like that's going a little far.
All right, so you guys went to the rope bridge.
Yeah, it was before the rope bridge.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, wasn't it in the cabin?
Yeah, it was in the cabin.
I wasn't playing yet, but I was watching.
Geryon. Geryon.
Garyon, okay. That's definitely not a B.
He is also known as the Beast.
Okay, so that's where I was getting the B from.
Yep.
And did you also happen to have the name of my ancestor that was on that list? Because I did have my scroll of pedigree, so.
So that wasn't listing specifics of who it was. So whoever your, let's say, great uncle was.
Great uncle, so that's what, like 4,000 years ago?
I wouldn't assume
Like,
that
no,
far,
even. I don't know, man. Elves have like a 2,000-year lifespan.
That potentially could be. He may be alive. He may have died on the road somewhere.
If he's alive, I'll definitely want to ask him questions.
Alrighty. So with that, what would you guys like to do?
Well, after we're done, pack up the cart and head on back to town.
All right, sounds good. So you guys get the cart all packed up. Rumney and Russell are there. Froscar, however, is still absent. But they assist you in getting that all packed up. And then you start heading back down the mountain once again. You pass the rope bridge without, or no, you guys passed the rope bridge last time. Let's see. So you're headed down towards the cabin then.
Yes.
So the long and arduous task of trekking your way down the mountain is a reminder of what it feels like, though that it doesn't seem to be taking as long as it did during the hike up.
Yeah, going downhill's always faster. The ends told you that.
Yep. The sun is just setting as you stumble into the cabin that you'd passed before, though this time you notice a steady stream of smoke coming from the chimney.
Man, did people move into our soon-to-be cabin? Like, I was going to turn this into a summer home.
I think it's more communal property than anything, but...
I'll get into a timeshare scam. You think I won't?
Only if you're at the top.
So you mentioned all that breakfast food and it made me hungry.
So, yeah, I guess we'll... I want to know who's there, so I want to stop off and check.
Before we do that, I'm going to send my familiar over to do some scouting.
Sure. So kind of perching and looking in through some of the ramshackle thatching, your familiar can see a solitary halfling that's sitting in front of a large cooking pot in front of the fireplace.
Always with the halflings.
Hey, at least he's not sleeping this time, right?
Okay, is it just the one?
Just the one.
All right.
Are all those orc corpses that I left there still there?
They are not.
Does it, what kind of halfling? Young, old?
Young-ish.
Does he
Effectively
look like a
like
traveler?
a little ways into adulthood.
Okay. Does he look like he's ready for trouble? Has he got like plate mail or?
No, wearing kind of leathers, but predominantly just nice clothing, jacket. Some minor leathers underneath that look like the only armor that he's wearing. Does have a short sword, but you see through your familiar that his short bow is off to the side, up against a wall.
All right. Seems safe enough to approach, so I will relay that to the rest of the group.
Okay. I think we send, you know what? No. God. From Draho's perspective, you've all proven to be really incompetent negotiators. Like,
I don't know why you think I'm a bad negotiator. I've never tried.
well, yeah, so I guess Draho's going to be like, all right, everyone be prepared for trouble. I'm going to go address the gnome.
That's why we're preparing for trouble.
To be fair, I wasn't actually negotiating back there.
Yes, well, I don't know when you're going to just pick a fight with something, and until I know whether I can kill it, I don't want to fight it.
Are you insinuating that you're afraid of a single halfling, Lord Draho?
Yes.
Not afraid of a minor fey creature. A lesser fey, if you will.
I don't actually think halflings are fey, but okay.
Aren't they fey?
No, they're just really, really freaking mischievous. Anyway, go say hi. And
Oh, it's gnomes I'm thinking of. Never mind. But yeah, I'm gonna walk up to the door and just knock on the door of the cabin.
Okay. So about 10 to 15 seconds later, you have the door open. Small halfling in front of you. Ruddy blonde hair. He's like, hello. Is this your house? I didn't mean to intrude.
Oh, the hardest question to ask Draho. No, this isn't my house. This is sort of a stopping point between for travelers going up and down the mountain, sort of a communal housing to avoid trouble in the mountains.
Oh, well, come in. I'm just getting some dinner ready up. If you like, you can share. I've got plenty.
Yeah, let me just call my companions over. We didn't want to seem like we were rushing you by all coming up at once.
Oh, no, not at all then. I'll go get more hairs put into the stew.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm going to turn back to the group and signal the all clear, which, using Draho's advanced hand signals, is something very confusing. But he could be panicked or he could be saying it's all clear. It's hard to tell.
Either way, I'd want to go check out what's going on.
He's epileptic.
He's just bad at understanding subtlety.
Or is it just Tourette's with hands?
Yeah. When Navarre gets up there, she just turns to Draho. Did you have a stroke?
No, I was telling you that everything's safe. Come up here. Don't you guys understand sign language?
Do you?
I guess it's just too sophisticated for us, Raho.
Do you? Yes, I was taught at one of the finest schools in Mithranor. Teacher was, however, blind.
Probably ask for a refund on that tuition then, Draho. Anyway, we'll head inside.
All right.
That's canon now. Draho learned hand signals from a blind man.
It explains so much.
So you see the halfling standing in front of the fireplace, kind of stirring the stew. He's adding more cuts of rabbit to it. There's really not much seating, but make yourselves at home. And as your man said, it's everyone's home, right?
Yep. What's your name, by the way?
Oh, I'm Rivicus Over of Brambrin.
Rivicus Over of Brambin. By any chance, out of character, would he be famous enough for me to be able to use a history check of any kind
Not
on
at
or anything? Okay. Just wanted to make sure we're not dealing with like a gnome champion or a halfling champion.
Nope. Just a wandering
Okay.
halfling.
Well, I'm going to because he didn't add any nobility, so he doesn't get the full introduction. But I am Lord Drahoslava von Reichenmere III of Mithranor, Huntmaster of Mithranor. These are my companions, Ark, Nivara, Misaki, and I guess that's everyone here right now. Introductions continue, I guess.
We'll just say the rest are out with the cart.
Yeah. And the others, they'll introduce themselves as they come along. What brings you here?
Oh, well, I'm out here looking for the treasure of Iljak the Blackblade.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, most definitely.
Do you know where it is, or are you just searching randomly in the mountains?
Well, all my research points to it being around here somewhere. Let's say that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you need any help with your journey?
That would be splendiferous. Have a seat. Well, as much as there's no seating in here. Let me pour you some bowls and we can discuss.
Excellent.
So he dishes out some soup for everyone. Brings a couple more bowls outside for the party members that are out there. Then
I forgot to introduce Kibble.
Then comes back in.
Oh, well, Draho doesn't acknowledge the staff.
I'm going to mostly stay outside because I'm tending to the horses.
Okay.
And keeping watch, because as we know, there's orcs in them there hills.
That is true.
Speaking of which, Ridicus, was it?
Rivicus, yes.
Would there by chance have been about a dozen orc corpses here when you showed up?
Oh, yes, their nasty remains are off in the woods.
Oh.
Okay, thank you for the soup.
Oh, you're welcome.
After
your artistic effort went to waste.
First of
you
all,
neither scared the next person to show up, nor did it impress them.
First, insight check.
Sure.
It's so average. Insight is wisdom based.
Don't worry, you're like any good artist. You'll only be appreciated after you're dead.
12.
12? He doesn't seem to be saying anything deceitful. In fact, from the kind of repugnant look that he got on his face when he was talking about them, you think that he did not like having the smell around?
That's fair. It's a pretty, don't mind the pun, but tall task for someone to do just a little bit.
Yes, well, magic has its uses, yes.
Oh, so you use magic?
Yeah, when I need to. It comes in use as an archaeologist.
Out of character, see, this is why we ask questions.
Oh, you're an archaeologist.
Well, yes.
He's outside.
I thought you were just a treasure hunter.
Well, some people would elicit to the same thing being the same thing. So, 6 of one, half and a dozen of another, right?
It belongs in a museum.
Oh.
How are we doing with that spectral pressure being back in the cabin?
Does not seem to have changed.
Is her book floating against the wall and bleeding again?
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound ungrateful for your company and the food, but this place gives me the creeps. Do you mind if we get moving, guys?
Let's
I'd
see,
rather
what
not.
time of day is it?
What's
I
that?
believe it's nightfall.
Yep.
Navarro, if you want to stay outside with me, I can set up my tent. Or we can sleep in the carts.
I don't really want to be anywhere near this building. Is the problem?
Also fair.
Oh, well, it seems your companions are wanting to leave. I guess we don't need to talk about that treasure.
I mean, I would not feel comfortable sending you off into unknown dangers by yourself.
Oh, well, that's right kind of you. Very lordly.
Yes. Also, I assume there's finder fees on treasure.
Oh, yes. The only thing that I'm actually interested in is Iljak's actual black blade. There should be quite a considerable finding when we find it that I'm happy to give anyone who joins.
Okay, so we are going to spend the night off a good distance in the woods, and we'll be back in the morning to help you.
Oh, okay.
I'm making this decision. Draho's staying for the loot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Kedra,
Yep.
was there fresh water here?
There is. There's a kind of spring just off to the east end of the house.
Okay.
I will say, let's get half a mile away from here.
That should be far enough.
Yeah, I'm going to actually stay at the cabin with him, though, just to make sure. I don't know why. I feel like he's going to get jumped.
Okay.
Because he's out here hunting treasure. I feel like he was very. Draho's mentality is he was very open with us, and we're absolute strangers that met him on the road. How many people in town did he tell, I'm going to find loot?
Well, if you decide to stay behind, I'm going to take you outside with my back to the cabin, and I'm going to hand over to you the signal horn that I have.
Oh, good. If I'm in trouble, I can toot that, and hopefully we hold out till you get here.
Don't let them know you have it until you have to use it.
Yep, will do. I feel like he's probably told a lot of people, and some people might be greedy enough to jump him.
Okay, so you blow that. If anything goes wrong, and if anything goes wrong on our end, you'll hear me.
I don't think I'm as important to the survival of this group as you all think. You seem to do just fine without Draho shooting from the background.
Yeah, but you're part of you're part of the group, so we.
If you're not here in the morning, I'll assume you died.
Thanks. Anyway, so then I guess the rest of us take off unless someone else wants to stay with Draho. Nope, okay.
I really don't want to stay with Draho that much. But
No one does. It's just me.
There's a warm fire in this building.
It's just me and my pseudo-dragon, or in his case, my locked wooden box.
I mean, no one wants to say stay, but I'm going wherever Navarro's going.
Fair enough.
All right.
I mean, you guys can leave me alone here. I don't mind. Draho has that sinking suspicion that this dude's going to get jumped, and he's the only one that can find this loot.
I mean, we have evidence. We have evidence and experience that shows that, bad things can take over this building. So, but Navarro wants to not be around it, so I'm gonna stay around her and protect her.
Honestly, I don't blame her. Her book bled last time we were here.
So.
All right. So you guys make a wander down the mountain for about a half a mile. Draho stays the night with Rivicus. Anything that you guys need to do in the evening?
Set up the camp and make sure that it's, got the little tripwire alarm system set up, and get the tent set up, start a small fire.
Okay.
Do what I did. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just checking the books for new information.
Just that page that I noted to you earlier.
Okay.
Also, try to maybe use whatever, fallen trees or trees I can knock over and stuff to kind of make sort of a makeshift barricade around us.
Okay.
Wouldn't take me too much to just knock some trees over.
No, not at all.
It seems like we're going to be taking another long rest since it's another day, so you might want to try before the rest doing that dispel again on that thing, Ivara.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot.
Go for it.
Getting the spell slots back anyways.
Nope.
Nope, doesn't seem to make any difference.
Just make it a nightly routine if you have spells left over.
All right. So you guys get a nice evening meal. You get your rest in. Morning comes.
All right. Navarre and I will just pack up our camp, and I'll try to persuade her to go back to the cabin to see how everything's going.
Okay.
And I'll wake up since I only need the 4 hours sleep. I'm going to let the gnome get his sleep in, and I can technically, I'm semi-conscious during my thing. I can understand stuff happening around me. So if the door opens or a window breaks or something in the middle of the night, I should be able to recognize it even in my trance state.
All right.
So.
And it does look like Kaizen is joining us, so I'm going to go ahead and do some resets. With any luck, it's all reset nicely.
Hopefully.
I have come.
I can hear you.
Welcome.
Hello.
Though
Fantasy
today
Grounds is
we
updating.
will call you Dominique.
To answer the chat, I'm assuming Kibble is staying over with Draho.
Kibble always stays with Draho.
All right. Also,
Currently in the cabin for sure is Kibble, Draho, and a very ornate black wooden box with gold trim and a big lock on it.
Contents unspecified.
Well, no lock on it, but a location for a big lock.
So throughout the night, he does let you know that the Black Blade was a bandit of some repute back in the time of the Glorious Fools, sometime back in mid-7th century. He was the first to actually settle in Bambryn. Goodness, Bambryn. He made it his home, his fortress, and his loot store. He was widely thought to have hidden his loot somewhere there, but it was never located. At one point, a tree fell over during a storm, which revealed a stone marked with a black sword buried beneath. However, there was no treasure underneath. Just another stone carving saying the message, "Moved it all, see me for your share," and another symbol of a black sword. He also relates that he got sick of growing flowers and truffles and selling them and decided to set out on an adventure. So he did a bunch of digging into the story of the Black Blade, and that's why he's here, searching for the treasure.
Okay, now, just because I've got the skills for it, can I roll history to see if I remember anything particular about the Black Blade's history?
Go for it.
Now that I've been told the story, if I can remember reading about him anywhere, maybe what he did, how he did, etc.
Yep.
14.
So that'll corroborate everything that Rivicus told you. It would also give you the fact that supposedly the dull black blade of Iljak had magical powers that allowed him to escape many traps and ambushes. Some say, though, that the blade ended up with him in the river the day that he died in Procamper, but it was neither it nor he was either ever found.
I'm going to pass this along to him. Did you hear the alternate theory about the sword being buried with him in the water?
Oh.
Going with him to a watery grave?
Oh, yes, but they weren't found, neither him nor the sword. That leads me to believe that he actually escaped and traveled elsewhere.
Interesting theory. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, we're going to be doing some swimming.
That's true. From everything that my research states, it should actually be in this cabin.
I'm sorry?
It should be here, somewhere.
Oh.
I've just yet to find it.
Well, if you need to turn a cabin inside out, wait till the others get here.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful.
As I just let us both in.
And such the others arrive.
Morning, everyone.
Hello.
Morning. It was an uneventful night. Apparently, he didn't blab to the whole town, and we don't have a bunch of treasure-hungry lunatics coming after us.
So, what do we know?
Tea.
basically pass along the story to him, giving the Drawho embellishments as if he came up with the idea himself. He is stealing this theory right out from under the guy's nose.
And just like that, we're now in what almost amounts to an escape room. Got it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be like, so we need to turn this place inside out and find the secret entrance that probably exists. And also, on a related note, that sword might be why Nyvar has been feeling that uncomfortableness. So it might lift that curse or whatever's happened to Nyvar.
Do we have a map for the cabin?
Nope.
Not sure that I buy that theory, but I suppose it's worth a try.
I mean, a magical sword from eons ago might be buried on this location. It was black. Probably not a good sword.
I think it has more to do with the fact that my ancestor made an ill-advised deal with an archdevil. But
oh yeah, what race was this legendary Black Blade?
Human.
Human. Yeah, that explains it.
So, do you have any clues that might narrow down the location?
Not specifically. From what I understood, he had a cabin somewhere here in the mountain, and this seems to be the only one that I can find.
Examine the mantle and fireplace.
All right, give me an investigation check.
I will assist with that.
All right, roll it as advantage. So looking over the fireplace at first glance seems to be kind of nothing more than shoddy craftsmanship. But you do catch a glimpse of a space that has some slight scratches, kind of at a thin slit of a hole. Maybe 2 or 3 inches tall, about a centimeter wide at most.
Is it inside the fireplace or on the outside?
It's in the mantle itself.
It's in the mantle itself.
What were the dimensions again?
So about yay big, so 2 or 3 inches tall by about a centimeter wide.
Yay, is that metric or? I'm not sure.
It's
Roughly
Ravinian.
Assuming roughly the size of a blade.
Could be.
Yeah, that sounded like a dagger.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pop my dagger in there.
All right. So as you slide your dagger in, you hear kind of a slight click. Then the entirety of the fireplace, its cooking step, except for the mantle and above, slide to the left. As it's doing so, and as he was in the midst of cooking breakfast, the smoke from the fire doesn't really have anywhere to go now, and so it's just kind of filling the room
Filling
above.
up the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to kick the door open.
All right.
Why don't you just open a window next to it?
Kicking the door is more dramatic.
I have a thing against doors now.
Oh, but wait a minute.
But this one was
There's
nailed to the
broken-
wall.
Let me cope!
There's broken windows anyway, so it slides over, and I'm assuming there's a hole descending.
Correct. A spiral staircase going down.
Well, considering it's kind of tight quarters, I'm gonna just go ahead and well, I don't even need my axe now, but I'll go first.
Okay.
Why don't you hold on a second?
Holding on.
I can send the Raven down to look.
Fair enough.
Also, I'm going to prestidigitation to put out that fire so we don't burn the cabin down while we're doing this.
All right. Fire dies down. The Raven, as you send it down, goes down about what would amount to 2 flights of stairs. It's completely pitch black in there. And does your Raven have dark vision? That was a good question.
The owl does.
Yeah, I was going to say my owl does at the very least, so I can send my owl.
I don't know. I can't remember if the Ravens. I don't think they do.
Ravens do not.
Okay. So you send the owl down. The owl is able to report back that there are several chests lining the walls, and amidst them, sitting on an old, decrepit-looking chair, the remains of a man wearing black leathers that seem to have decayed over time. On his lap sits the dull, black-bladed broadsword.
All right, well, that sounds like what we're looking for.
Ark goes down first.
Yes.
Kibble goes second.
What?
Revivicus pushes his way in.
Yeah. Keep him in
Masaki
front of Kim.
follows.
You know Drawho's plan, be in the back of the pack.
Okay.
That's
So-
when they attack from the rear.
Down there are functionally 5 different chests, and then that skeleton sitting on just kind of an old wooden chair. Rivicus scoots forward towards it. He's like, I think this is it. This is wonderful. Such a find. And picks up the sword.
Don't touch.
Stop.
If he moves to pick up the blade, I'm going to club him viciously.
Then you're going to club him viciously because he can't.
He can't.
What is it with tiny racists and looting?
This entire time, though, while we're down there, I'm just going to stand facing the skeleton, like right up on it, holding my maul and just waiting.
Okay.
So paranoid, we can't trust that this is a corpse.
It's not paranoia based on experience.
He does, in fact, pick up the sword.
16 hit.
And you smack him. You smack him very well. Go ahead and roll damage.
10 hit.
10 does not.
Oh, I get to reroll that. So he's going to take 8. I'm not trying to kill him, so,
I'm
you know.
assuming flat of the blade then?
Flat.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So you
And then there's the pommel strike
okay?
for another 6.
You thump him good, and he just kind of falls over with the sword in his hands.
I hear them kind of glance over my shoulder and then look back at the skeleton.
It's
Now
there.
we need to get the sword out of his hands.
I mean, the whole point of clubbing him was to keep him from taking it.
Truth.
Hey, Kibble,
Yeah.
is that sword going to kill him or us?
But I was going to ask
Well,
if you didn't grab the sword right away.
It does look sharp and pointy, so it could.
Yeah, it could.
Kibble, let's try detect magic.
Oh,
If
okay.
we sit here for 10 minutes intimidating this halfling, while Kibble determines what the sword is.
It does glow with magic.
Is it the only magic in the room?
It is not. He points out that a couple of the chests seem to have a faint glow within.
Anything on the skeleton?
Nope, not at all.
Okay. I'm gonna. Okay, so he just cast detect magic, not identify.
I'll
Correct.
identify.
Yeah, I was going to say, open it. Let's go around and have him check the chests for traps. Get
Traps.
everything that could be magical in one area. Then he can.
Let him check the chest for traps, and I'll do the identifying.
I am going
Oh, you
to
got it now? Nice.
Yeah, ritual casting.
secure
Nice. Oh, yeah, the book.
our halfling friend or half-elf friend or whatever the kind of friend he is,
Acquaintance.
Okay.
and
to tie
make
him
sure
up.
that I didn't kill the bastard.
You didn't, but he is definitely unconscious.
Okay.
We weren't
And then,
betraying you. When he wakes up, we didn't betray you. You just did a reckless thing.
We'll get there. Kibble reports that the chests are not trapped.
The traps are
Okay.
not. Got
The
it.
traps are not tested.
So I'm going to go around, open them up, and just,
Whoa,
pull
there's,
everything
there's,
out.
there's 5. How about we just each take one?
Okay, that works too. I was just going
Christmas.
to pull everything in the middle.
All right. In that case, everybody roll a d6.
Nah. 2.
6, baby.
Also 2.
I was getting the same.
Tiebreaker. 3. Okay.
All right.
I
So
will take whichever one's left because I am worried more about the halfling than I am about the box.
okay.
Yeah.
Chest number for Nivara. Then when you open it, you find 1,000 platinum.
Ooh.
Ark finds 10,000 gold. Misaki finds 10,000 silver. Draho finds 50,000 gold. And who am I missing?
Kaizan.
Kaizan, that's right. Last one. So in Kai's chest, there are 5 large diamonds, 5 large rubies, a wand, 2 potions, and 3 odd-looking darts that have been kind of etched with the picture of a hornet's nest.
Curiosity peak.
Yeah, we definitely want to identify the magical things and for sure pull all that loot where we need it.
Okay.
A lot of, I mean,
So-
may as well just close the
Right.
boxes up.
I love how it's like money,
Kibble.
gems, wand.
Kibble, was Kaizan's the one that was kind of glowing?
It was.
Okay.
So one of the potions looks like your kind of standard potion of healing, just much bigger and much more viscous. And by much, I mean supremely more.
Oh, damn.
Yep. The other potion, it's odd. It contains a scorpion's tail, an adder's fang, a dead spider, and when you look at it very, very closely, there's a small heart that's still beating. Thump, 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 thump.
Hmm.
That's disturbing as all
What
hell.
in the Edgar Allan Poe is this?
Is that Arcana to know what the hell that potion is?
Sure.
Because that seems like something that does good magic or
Go for it.
bad mentality.
Or if anyone's proficient with like alchemy tools.
17.
17 will do it. It's a potion of longevity.
What's that do?
Allows you to reduce the age you are physically, though drinking too many of them can have a cumulative chance of increasing your age.
Now, do you have to eat the crunchy bits?
Supposedly, from what you've studied, once you open the draft, all of those magically dissipate into the liquid.
Okay. So I'm going to pass this info along. That is a potion of longevity. If any of you are feeling old and worn out because of your weak mortal bodies, you can drink it and it'll make you younger.
Oh, I have many more winters in me.
We could also probably sell it to Eno. He'd probably like it. He's old.
Probably would.
So, so what do we got on the identify for the blade?
Oddly, you don't seem to get anything from it.
So it is magical, we just can't identify it.
Correct.
What about, I'm assuming either Nivara or Kibble are identifying those magic darts?
Yep. So one of them can do the
wand.
darts, one can do the wand. The
Gotcha.
wand is a Wand of the War Mage +1. The
Ooh.
darts are called Darts of the Hornet's Nest. And these are a superb version of it. So throwing the dart upon successful attack roll will hit for 5d4 damage. While appearing to be more than nothing but a magic dart, this missile weapon is of far greater power. Once hurled, the dart multiplies in the air, even as it speeds towards its target, all the while making angry buzzing noises similar to the sound of a swarm of hornets.
We've got Pim darts.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, the only caster amongst us that could benefit from a wand of War Mage would be Nivara. It's basically the caster equivalent of a +1 weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I know because my wizard had one and it was fantastic.
Well,
Oh, kind and benevolent GM.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Does this black blade look like it's been formed from the Shadowfell?
It does not.
Okay.
Seems to be dull, but it's not emanating anything evil to it.
Well, the Shadowfell itself isn't necessarily evil.
True, but it's also not emanating like, shall we say, negative plane aspects.
Now, is there any kind of inscription on it? Arcana rune, like runics or anything?
The only thing that you see to it is that same inscription that Rivicus was talking about of the small, like, black blade inscription that Iljack likes to leave places.
Huh. And it's just a calling card of his, sort of like Draho's crest. It was what he used to identify himself.
Correct.
It doesn't have any magical, like it doesn't look like an archaic formula, arcana formula or anything.
It does not.
Okay, then I'm not going to bother rolling arcana on that.
Okay. I'm going to put the sword in one corner.
Okay.
I'm going to put the limp body of the halfling in the other.
How about we just take him upstairs and do that?
Well,
Yeah, I don't like staying with the corpses. Starting to smell.
he's just unconscious. He's not dead.
No, the other one. The one
Oh,
that owns
skeleton.
the black sword.
Yeah.
Speaking of, on him himself, since he seems to be truly dead, did he have anything nice on him?
No. His leathers are kind of moth-red and holy. The chair that he's sitting in looks like if you put any actual weight on it, it would fall apart.
Okay.
And there's nothing else to the room that we're in.
Correct.
I want a divine sense
There's
that
a hidden room.
halfling.
Hidden room.
He seems to be just fine.
We're all just
Okay.
assuming the swords possessed him or something as soon as he picked it up and made fought for it before he could do anything.
Since we're
And the
taking
sword?
upstairs,
The same.
I'll
Okay.
say, Kai, would you like to take the sword, and I'll pick up my chest of stuff, and then pick up the halfling under my other arm.
Sure, I'll carry the sword upstairs.
And I'm just going to start, Draho's going to start the job of hauling boxes up to the wagon one at a time.
So before we wake him up, I'm going to make sure that we disarm him.
Okay. You take a short sword.
I think that's a little excessive.
I don't know what kind of mood he's in when
Agreed.
he wakes up.
I mean,
just-
he's
I
probably
want
going to be in a
to-
real crappy mood because he got clobbered upside the head for no good reason.
Right in his moment of
It was a
triumph.
very good reason.
There was a very good reason.
I'm just making sure that when he wakes up, he understands he needs to listen very carefully to what we have to say.
Imagine that. If you're the moment you've spent your life building up to, you just get to it and someone clocks you over the head with a stick 3 times.
Also, I want Kibble in the room when we wake him up, so Kibble can nod about how bad it is to take things without checking them first.
All right.
Once
So
we
we're
get
educating.
Yeah, so once we also get everything up out of the hole,
I
I'll pull
will-
the dagger out and
I
hand it back
will-
to Navarro.
Okay.
And I will politely and gently lay the halfling down on the bed that I know is in the cabin.
Sure. As you pull the blade out, Misaki, the fireplace slides back into place.
Relight the fire in the hearth.
Okay.
All right. I don't
Rest
want,
dictation.
I don't want anyone to have their weapons drawn. We're going to be polite about how we knocked him out.
Please tell me exactly how I'm going to sheath my halberd.
Do you have
Mine's
a
resting
spring
against
sword or
the
something?
hearth, and I'm going to heat up water for tea.
Okay.
Just leave it against the wall. Don't have it in your hand. Just have it like accessible.
All right. So waking him up.
Yep.
Okay. As he wakes up, he's like, "What? I had the best dream. I totally saw where we found it, and now it's gone. Did you guys see it? Was it there? No, it was all the dream, wasn't it? We're still in the cabin. Man,
You're an
why am I
archaeologist
tied up?
by profession?
What?
You're an archaeologist by profession.
Yes.
Do you always just touch things without examining them?
Oh, only things that I'm not worried about.
Well, we're worried about it because, and I pick up Gibble, put him on my shoulder.
Okay.
As this one can attest to, sometimes things seem harmless, but definitely aren't.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's why you take the time to look at them before touching them, right, Gibble?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't really see what the problem was. Wait, we did find it?
I offer a cup of tea to the halfling.
And if you would please unrestrain me, I'd be happy to take the tea.
Oh, I didn't restrain him.
Thought Kai did.
Oh,
Yeah. Nope. Kai was making sure that he didn't do anything, but I have no rope or means to tie him up.
Okay.
like I
Then
said,
so
he goes
I
ahead and
just
takes
was
the
like-
tea.
I just didn't want him popping up and running off and grabbing the sword again. Because then I would have to be less nice.
see, Kai and I, same page.
All right. He takes the tea and sips it. Oh, my head. What happened? I touched the sword and all of a sudden I was out.
It was PTSD.
I'm not sure what that is. I will have to look into it. Do we have the sword?
Yes, the sword exists.
Oh, thank all the makers.
So, can you, in your experience, can you think?
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining convincing him that the sword knocks out anyone who touches it.
Can you think of any reason why a magical item would not be identifiable with identification magic?
Potentially because the sword, according to some stories, was crafted by the goddess Timora.
I don't know who that is, but
The goddess of luck crafted a black blade.
Sounds more like her sister.
Woman scorned and all that.
Yes, that could be.
So,
May I see it? That was the deal. You guys were allowed to have everything else.
And I'm happy
We're not-
to honor that. Just be careful.
Of course.
yeah, it could have possessed you for
I look
all we
over
know
Kai
and turned you into a
and-
demon.
I look over to Kai and kind of give a gesture of your call on this one.
We promised him the sword, and we got plenty of other stuff out of it.
I mean, it's his heirloom. He probably knows more about it. It doesn't seem evil and icky, and I can reach anything in this room, so if he does anything dumb, we can reset this.
I mean, clearly, if you can take him out in a round, he's not a threat. So,
But, yeah, be careful. We're jumpy because we're adventurers and we do this for a living.
Oh, no, not a problem. Not a problem. I won't burn the place down. It's not what I do. So, do you hand him the blade?
Yes.
All right. He grows. No.
Attack of opportunity! Attack of opportunity!
he grows. Now I don't have to look physically down at him.
So he takes a look at the blade, kind of spins it around, perfectly balanced. Yes.
Oh.
Did he suddenly turn purple?
Nope. This is the blade. Please, again, try to strike me.
Like with
I
sword?
did that twice. It didn't work out for you.
Yes, anything. Please try.
Let me.
Yeah, I was just going to shoot an arrow at him, but I feel like this is going to be the one time when we discover it doesn't
I'll
work
pick out
on
one of my
projectiles.
nexus.
So I look at Kai, and Kai looks at me, and we both pick up our halberds and come at from opposite sides.
And I'm coming at it with my axe.
Okay.
Yeah, but we swing on 3.
Who's behind him to do this so he doesn't see it coming necessarily?
Well, I figure we're still up against the wall.
Okay, fair enough.
So you're coming at him from all three sides in unison.
Kibble, give us a 3 count.
1, 2.
Swing.
Breakfast. Natural 20.
Okay.
Oh, we're about to be dealing with one dead halfling.
I'm not trying to kill him.
You're using the
Okay.
flat of your maul.
I'm turning the hand axe over, so I'm just hitting him with the shaft.
Okay.
So blade is pointed toward me.
Alrighty. So
And I'm not raging, so I do less damage.
with those attacks, he slides out of the way of Kai's attack, kind of bends backwards to Misaki's, and then yours comes just clubbing in, and he's like, "It works most of the time. It works most of the time. Ow. This is why he died."
I'm going to start cackling in the corner of the room as hard as I can.
Ark does give out a bit of a chuckle, too. Just
So I take it that blade is supposed to make you untouchable in combat?
Something like that. Oh, man.
Works real good, doesn't it?
Looking
Be
at the
thankful it was the dull side.
He did get, like, shot in Procamper that one time, and that explains it. Oh, man.
I hand the cup of tea back to the halfling.
He tucks the blade under one arm, takes the tea, and is like, sets it down, does a little casting, and you see his wounds kind of de-swell. That was good. Thank you. You're satisfied with all your treasure, yes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Then I shall be on my way. This needs to get back to Brambin so that we can do all the things that are necessary to figure out what all it does.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to leave him what is the equivalent of the Drawho business card, which is just a little piece of paper with his name, his crest, Arachnophobia's crest, and then the address of the bar that we stay in,
Okay.
and the town it's in, and basically be like, here's where you can find us if you need us. We'd like to follow up on this and see what exactly that thing does. It seems interesting.
Oh, of course. And should it ever be required to, save the world, please just seek me out in Brambin.
That's
that is very specific, GM.
Well, there are things that the gods gift to us mortals, and they should be used properly.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to keep an eye out. You come up with anything interesting, feel free to contact us. And you said you're in Brambin?
Yep, correct.
You guys get carts through there often? You get messages often?
Oh, definitely.
If we ever need you
for
for
town in the Bergs.
Okay, well, if we never need anything, we'll send a post your way.
Wonderful.
I will say that when he mentions how the gods give us things after saying if we need his help saving the world, I kind of just glance over at my the mall as it's on my back for a second, and then look back at him.
You see just kind of this shimmer across one of the spectacles that he has on. Ah, yes.
Oh,
that was more for me. I wasn't trying to be hinty about it. I'm just sort of more of my.
So, do you want to travel with us back to town, or are you going another way?
Oh, I have an alternate route. As soon as you leave, I'll handle a teleportation spell that'll take me there.
Excellent. Well, you stay safe out there. Stop touching stuff without checking it first when you're out looking for powerful magical items of great bandits.
But I did.
You did not. You grabbed it and got clubbed for it.
And he turns to look at you, and you see that same shimmer across his glasses. But I did.
Second point. Communicate with the people you work with more often.
Well, that may be true. It's few and far between that an archaeologist has a real team these days.
Yeah. Well, you ever need help finding more magical things, give us a call. We're happy to loot for you.
Oh, of course. Likewise, if there's anything that you're ever trying to find, let me know. I'm fairly good at locating things.
Excellent. So I say we all pack up in the cart and peace out.
All right.
As we're packing up, I rummage in my bag and pull out a bottle and show it to the halfling.
He looks down, sparkles. What are you showing him?
The wine bottle.
Oh. That is an excellent vintage. Though I would assume that your elven friend would more care for that than I would.
You are not about ready to give away our expensive elven wine.
No. The empty wine bottle that I've been carrying.
Oh, right. Oh.
Good. I was like, man, he didn't earn my wine. That wine is going to be our celebratory wine when we kill the bad guys.
Several years later.
I was going to say, it's going to be so well fermented by the time that happens, too.
This is the most delicious vinegar.
So he looks at it and he's like, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with this one.
No one has been, from what I've noticed.
What are you trying to seek with it?
Its origin.
May I take a scrolling from it?
Sure.
And he places a piece of paper over it and kind of charcoal rubs the entire outside of it. Comes away with it. I'll see what I can look into for you. Where should I reach out to?
I look at the rest of the party.
We already gave you Drawho's card, man. We'll reference that. We're all hanging out together.
Oh, of course. Well then, I certainly hope that you all have a wonderful time, and I will more than likely see you in the future.
Yes. So we'll pack up in the cart and head back to town.
All right.
Thank you.
So, continuing your travel?
Yep.
All right. Traveling down the mountain, or from the Hollow Mountain, is easygoing in the brisk morning air. The sun has begun its brilliant ascent into the sky. Birds sing, insects chirp, small animals can be seen going about their daily lives with little care for you guys as passersby. Your trip takes quite some time, but nearly early evening, you find yourselves back in King's Reach, heading to the far side of town, towards the airship, when a curious sight comes into view. Two prospectors stand in front of a wagon loaded with ore, and piled on top the ore are two dead stone giants. The two stand near a watch constable, and their tone is that of anger and dismay. Look, I don't care what you say. Giants don't just fall from the skies in those mountains. Here, look. This isn't a falling wound. This had to have come from some sort of pitched battle. The dour worm has returned. These long slash marks here, and the bruising here. It looks like it got hit by a dragon's tail. The constable's like, mm-hmm. You can see him smiling and nodding. Yep, definitely a tail. I'll take this up with the commander.
I put a couple arrows in those things, so just... I'm going to yell over to him. Does the dragon use a bow?
Well, some dragons can.
Fascinating. Good to know.
I asked,
Elven arrows, too.
how much force can a dragon's tail put out?
Oh, I don't know.
I just
Quite a
broke
bit.
your ego.
Enough to knock a stone giant down, I'm sure.
I kind of look over everyone and kind of do like the side grin, like.
I just like the idea that these people now believe that dragons use elven arrows and bows.
I like the fact that my ability to crush ribs is compared to a dragon's tail. That's a compliment.
According to two uneducated farmers, it is. Or miners.
I mean, from their experience, people who go up there don't come back, so they must assume that whoever it was isn't us, because we're alive.
That is true.
So
They don't need to know it was us. I'm just happy to see that, our chucking two giants down the hill paid off.
you mean my chucking them?
Team effort, buddy.
Yes, you're me doing the pushing and you doing the watching.
And with your knees, leverage.
Which, behind you, Russell says, use leverage.
Yeah, pretty much. We're going to live that one, Dale.
All right. Continuing on then?
Yeah, continuing on.
Yeah, might as well start heading back.
All right.
And once again, I'll help load the horses and everything.
Okay. Making your way back to the ship, you can see that its crew is busily moving supplies, cargo, and in general keeping up with the standard day-to-day work. One of the deckhands leans out, kind of looks over at you and squints. Captain, they're back! It's a young man, red in the face. He sets down a trunk. Captain! After a bit, as you're walking forward, Redburn comes sauntering across the deck to regard you from his rather elevated view. He turns back to the crew. Our final passengers have arrived. Stow their packages and prepare to take flight for Tantris. You see him walking off and continuing to issue orders as the side of the ship opens to receive your wagon, and a small set of crew comes down the boarding ramp to assist.
Draho starts barking orders about what to do and how to store stuff like he always does.
Yep.
I do my best to help accommodate that.
Alrighty. So you get all your stuff aboard and start climbing aboard. As you do, Redburn comes wandering up to you. Good timing on your part. I received a message from Mr. Van Richter that we're to take you to a swampland area near Tantris, provided, and I quote, that the portents are true, and with them comes evil, and if so, find the Minotaur in the Tantris swamps, as he may be a powerful ally for use in the future. I certainly hope you know what that means, because I have no idea.
That doesn't mean anything to me, but...
It sounds like we're gonna go find a Minotaur, because shit's going down.
All right. Well then, we can certainly get you fairly close, but due to some of the properties of the swamp, we can't get you directly in. As we can discuss a bit more over dinner. Oh, and we do have another passenger that will be joining us tonight. A noble from here in King's Reach, Lord Cafe Ragnon. He's a diplomat that needed passage to Tantris as well. Please, this way to the lower deck.
Yeah. So, what was the guy's name again?
Kaef, Kaef. Last name Ragnod, Ragnod.
And you said he's a noble?
Correct. A noble and a diplomat.
Drago.
And I was going to say history to know if I know him. Did that work for it, or insight anything?
Yeah, let's go with history on it.
Yeah. 14.
14? You would have heard that he is not only a noble and a diplomat, but also the sitting Grand Vizier for King's Reach.
Oh, we've basically got the head honcho of King's Reach on the boat.
One of them.
Well, I definitely want to make friends with him for future business vestments.
So, as you descend, the smell of butter, biscuits, and beer lingers in the air. A table's been set out for you alongside with the captain, and sitting there currently is a man with hawkish features, dressed in dark brown, almost muddy-colored robe that has accents of silver and gold trimmed into it, and those silver and gold bits are forming the regalia of house and merchants' guilds of King's Reach. The table is set with a pile of biscuits, butter, sliced beef, cod, and a large serving pot that is covered. You guys sit?
Yeah, I will sit down directly across from the Lord.
All right. As you sit, one of the crew uncovers the large serving pot and begins to dole out its contents into bowls, passing them out. The pot contains a stew broth that smells of beef, rosemary, thyme, plums, and a faint hint of wine. The brown-robed noble stands up, reaching his hand out towards Draho. Welcome. I am Lord Ragnod, diplomat and Grand Vizier of King's Reach. You must be the adventuring party I've been told we've been waiting on. What was it? Aerophobia? I'm surprised you'd be traveling on such a ship with that kind of name.
I stand up, bow properly as a noble does. Lord Drahoslava von Reichenmere III of Mythdraenor, Huntmaster to the King. It's arachnophobia. Name was sort of a joke about a face spider we killed.
Oh, icophobia. I'm not a fan of pointed objects either.
Arachnophobia, like spiders.
Oh,
fear of spiders.
Anchrophobia. Hopefully this trip won't be too windy, I suppose.
Yes, well, you're clearly a man of education.
Fairly old.
Is he human?
He is.
Yeah. So, I notice you, have ties with the Merchants Guild, huh? Over here in King's Reach?
Oh, of course, and a pleasure to meet you all of your arachnophobes. You feel a slight lurch as the ship begins to take flight. Ah, good. Finally underway. Shall we sup? And he motions towards the food.
Yep. I'm going to basically, during the meal, casually bring up how I have an adamantine cart and 10 guys.
He chortles at that.
Really getting tired of them sitting around not doing anything. I hear merchants often need stuff moved from one place to another.
Ah, indeed. That's what the Merchants Guild is for.
Yes. Do you by any chance have any openings for another entrepreneur?
Oh, we could always use more entrepreneurs within the Merchants Guild. Perhaps once you're done with this swampy business, you can come by and see me.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
So the captain kind of coughs. Mr. Van Richter did want me to make sure that you're all aware that the fact is the swamp is a rather treacherous place. Rumor has it that when Torm and Bane fought in the sea near Tantris, some of their magics clashed and sparks fell from the two deities. One of these sparks caused the swamp by allowing an inlet of the river there to be created, with the water slowly seeping in, with nowhere else to go. Indeed, as that spark created the swamp, it also caused a tear in the weave, ripping the natural magics from the area. The wizards and clerics that I've met that have gone there have stated that upon entering the swamp, they could not cast spells, nor could they hear the whisperings of their gods.
Interesting.
Certainly.
Because it's Drawho history to know if I know anything they don't.
Sure.
To prove that I'm smarter than people. Ooh, 22. Hopefully I know something they don't.
That sounds spot on. From what you can recall, it's somewhat of a dead magic zone there.
Well, I'm going to mention that. I'm going to say, isn't that a dead zone for magic now?
That could be what they're referring to, yes.
Yeah. Don't care for that. Don't care for that at all. A man without magic is no man at all.
I raised my eyebrow.
Oh, you look suitably decked in magic, sir.
Yes.
Look at all those shinies.
Yes. Well, the Reichland Mirror is a very, very prominent house of Mithran.
Ah, yes, of course.
They don't need to know where I got it from.
So who's this Minotaur we're supposed to be contacting?
That, unfortunately, he did not say.
And do we have any more info on where we're looking for him, other than the swamp?
Well, the swamp is fairly small. It's maybe 3 miles across. He did have this sent along, and he kind of lifts a large book and sets it down. Can't read it, don't know what it says, but supposedly, if you give it to the Minotaur, he'll be amenable.
I was
going to say that sounds like a Nivara thing.
See if any of us can figure out what language it is.
Yeah.
If Nivara can't, no one can.
Do any of us recognize the script for the book?
It doesn't seem like it. It's very odd. One would think that it's celestial, but it's some form of offshoot dialect that you would think that it's from either an alternate plane or another sphere.
So it's hillbilly angels?
Potentially something like that.
So I could kind of read it, but some of it just doesn't jive with what I know.
Correct. Functionally, what you get out of it in reading through Celestial is it talks about using the stars as gateways between various different portions within the astral sea. Odd words like flogium.
And I kind of throw those out as I come across them with confusion as I pronounce them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Say my strange languages tend more towards the abyssal, so not really going to be much help with Celestial.
Yeah, I don't know crap about any of that.
Well, the glyphs are rather elegant. We'll give them that.
And does it match Sylvan by any degree?
Not at all.
Draconic and Elven either?
Nope.
Then I don't know crap about it.
I got nothing. No.
Okay, well, I guess since I'm generally the one that holds on to the books, I will.
You are the official librarian.
It's okay. I kind of keep flipping through the pages as I can kind of read it. Are the pictures?
Some. Mostly depicting various different angels. There is kind of a stamp on one page that looks like a fist that's got a kind of a crest of red spikes around it.
I assume religion to identify.
Wouldn't be anything of this sphere.
Sorry, history wouldn't do it then either.
Correct.
For either. Yeah.
Arcana?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Not unless you've been plane hopping.
No. Definitely not draw home. You don't even like this plane.
Ark sees you all trying to figure that out. So we just get that to the Minotaur and he'll understand it?
Supposedly. Redburn says with biscuits in his mouth.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Should be. From what Mr. Van Richter said, show him the book. You've got a friend.
Hey.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do that.
Okay. So you guys kind of continue through your dinner, and about half an hour in, you see Redburn kind of go a little green, start to cough. His eyes kind of bulge and look pleadingly at you, and then he slams.
Perform the Heimlich maneuver.
As you're attempting, he slams the table a few times with his fist, eliciting a bit of shock from Ragnod, who then likewise begins to turn a bit green and falls out of his seat. As you're giving that Heimlich, everybody go ahead and roll me con saves.
It would be a nice time to be a Yuan T, huh?
23.
Or a dwarf.
Okay.
Sorry, 22.
Dark One's luck on that. 19.
Okay.
Inspiration. Definitely inspiration. 14. I'll take it. If I still go down, I go down. At least it ain't a natural one.
Nat 20.
All right.
And an insight check to see if he's doing the coughing on purpose or if he's actually choking.
Oh.
Go for it. Or did you already throw that?
Is 22.
22. He does seem to be doing that on purpose. It's not something that he wants to be doing, just kind of a reflex as something is going wrong. So everybody with a 20 or above gets to ignore this.
Oh.
Yep. Everybody else takes 27 points of poison damage and is currently afflicted with the poisoned condition.
Oh.
Wow.
27 poison damage. Currently poisoned, huh?
Yep. The first mate comes rushing in, having heard the noise. He picks up the captain and rushes him off towards the infirmary.
Who prepared this?
Currently, you guys and the Fallen Lord are the only one in there.
I'm going to go to the Lord and check and see if he's still alive and get him to the infirmary if at all possible. He's a possible future investment.
All right. Give me a medicine check.
I'm going to treat him with more care than I've treated any of you.
Does not surprise.
Was Kibble affected?
He was.
Is Kibble dead?
He is not.
That's all that matters. Now he's going to be paranoid to eat. So a 5, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yep, you certainly think that he has expired.
I'm going to start screaming, shit, he's dead. Get him to the infirmary. Maybe they can res him.
Oh, God. I walk over. Does he look dead? Is he breathing?
You can see the chest rising lightly.
He's not dead.
Well,
He's
what do
still
you call
breathing.
this?
I point at Kaizan and Masaki. You two, can you cure this?
Yeah, I can. And I walk over and I burn 5 points of lay on hands and I cure the poison. And then I go over to who all got affected. Hands up.
I did.
Does cure poison?
Yeah.
Oh.
Lay on hands. You can burn 5 points to cure a poison or a disease.
Yeah,
so
That's not the same
Nightbar
thing I
failed.
have.
I believe everyone except for you and... Yep, you and Ark. Which includes Kibble, Ronmi, and Russell.
We used the beefy ones.
So I have enough lay on hands to cure 5 people.
I would cure the noble and the captain first. And
Captain's already gone, so
well, but you can
we're
find
gonna
him.
go hunt him down.
Yeah, well, save him for the last one. Definitely the noble and the captain have to get it. Draho's willing to wait this out because this gives him a good excuse to go to the cabin and stay there alone.
Raho, that ointment that we found, use it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. How do you apply I assume I put it on like Vicks
I
Vapor Rub?
stick my finger in it and I shove it in his face hole.
I just assumed it's like Vapor Rub. You put a little bit on your chest and breathe deep.
Well, all this
Yep.
is going on, I'm just on to Kibble Mike. How do you do it?
What's that?
While they're sorting that out, I'm holding Kibble. I'm just like, it's going to be okay.
I walk up and I touch Kibble.
He retches and kind of sits back up and is like, what happened?
We were poisoned. Somebody's trying to kill us. From now
And I
on, we're
touched
going
the
to have
old
to have
guy.
somebody test our food.
Okay. He likewise retches and sits up.
Somebody help me find the captain. And I move to go find the captain.
All right.
He's in the infirmary.
I go with him.
Rushing down into the infirmary, as you come in, you can see them slowly pulling the sheet up over his face.
I'm happy.
Too late.
Is he actually passed?
Medicine check?
Well, why you have to ask me to do things I don't know how to do?
Yeah.
Because
How
it's
do you
more
think I
fun.
felt?
And there you go. Yep. He is dead. Very dead.
Cadaverific.
Oh, missed that one.
The first mate's in the room because he's the one that brought him there, right?
He is.
Show me where the food is prepared.
This way. He takes you
While
into the
they're
kitchen.
all doing the investigation, I'm going to help the Lord to his cabin,
He's
and
very grateful.
I'm pretty much going to sit with him and Kibble. I'm going to sit us in the room with him, and I'm basically going to put me and Gibble on bodyguard duty in case this was an attempted assassination.
All right. So Ark, he brings you into the mess. You see a variety of cooking utensils and things.
All right. Gonna search to see if I see any signs of what poison may have been added.
Okay. Go with a... Because I'm assuming you don't have an herbalism background. Let's go with a nature check.
Nature check. Okay. 12.
12. Not that you can find. Lots of various different foods, herbs, spices, but none of them look to be poisonous.
Yeah, I know some nature. Too bad I'm not there.
I'll look at the first mate. Has anyone else been on this vessel other than us and the ambassador?
No, just the standard crew.
Bring me to the cook.
Cook actually just waddles in from another room. Rather portly man. Yes, how can I help you?
What did you put in the food?
Is he Swedish?
Is... Well,
Is he holding an explosive fish? No.
he's not.
Boy.
So it's very standard fare. You've got your salted beef, your salted cod, rosemary, thyme, a bit of wine.
Show me the wine.
No, of course. He waddles over to the trash, pulls out a bottle. There you are.
Is there any left? Even a couple drops?
Sure.
All right. And I'm going to keep it in the bottle. How much of this stuff did you get recently?
That's been with us since several months ago. Picked it
None
up
of
in
this was-
Ravens Bluff.
None of this was just taken aboard?
Nope, we were fully stocked by the time that we got here. We were only, in the air for 2 days.
Art is a good chef. There's no way that this happened unless he did it. Because there is no chef in existence that wouldn't taste the food, and he's still alive.
I actually...
His kitchen and the table.
Yeah, I look at the first mate, tell him.
Tell him what?
I look at the first mate again. I'm looking at the first mate and saying, tell him what just happened.
Oh, yeah, he points out that the captain is dead. And you see the chef go peek at, no, the captain is a good man. He cannot.
And
Anything to do with mortality?
Everyone who ate what you just made was exposed to poison. Only 2 of us weren't affected.
He lifts up the spoon. I've been taste testing with this all night, son. And he takes a big, long lick on it.
So it was added after the cook prepared it and sent it out.
Also inside check. I believe him just slightly less, but I believe him.
Yep, he's totally telling the truth.
Kedro, up in the stateroom where we were eating,
Mm-hmm.
as everyone rushed off, I'm still there.
Is
Does
what?
anything, because everybody rushed off, I'm still there.
Sure.
Does anything smell abnormal, out of place?
The stew pot.
Okay. I put the lid on it. It was just sitting on the table when we came in.
Yep.
Does it look to be a trolley or anything that would have brought it in?
Nope, it was just there when you all came in.
All right. I will, with the lid back on, start heading for the galley, wherever it is.
All right. You make your way there and you find...
I will go along, I guess, because I've got nothing better to do.
Oh, I didn't know Navarro was still with me.
I didn't go anywhere. Yeah, I'm just hanging out because I'm poisoned.
Okay.
Yeah. I
guys-
point at that, and I'm like, not good.
You guys make your way there and find Ark and Kaizen interviewing the chef.
Interviewing is a nice
Yeah, when Navarro walks in, I pat her on the head and cure her poison.
Thank you.
And you've got the pot in your hand?
Yeah, I've got the soup pot in my hand with the lid on it. This seems bad.
I look at the chef. Is that one of yours?
Yeah, I cooked it earlier. Bring it over. I'll take a sip.
I will bring it over and set it on the table.
All
I'm
right.
not.
He takes the topper back off, pulls out his spoon, swirls it around, sets the thing back on. So what's the problem? And you can see the green starting to rise.
That.
You're about to fall over.
And he retches and then takes 26 points of damage.
What?
And immediately falls down.
Someone stop him from dying.
Is he breathing?
Currently, yes.
Spare the dying.
Okay. So he is stabilized at 0 hit points.
Navarra, if you have 10 minutes, can you find out what that pot is?
Yeah, I can try it.
Okay.
He is stabilized, but he is still currently poisoned, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
1 hour later.
I poke him and cure his poison.
All right.
All right, guys, I am out of
So-
quarters.
Detect magic and or identify on the pot.
Neither come back with anything magical.
I look at the first mate. Who brought the food to the table?
I think that would have been Joey.
Say we all go find Joey and break his kneecaps.
You hear the first mate just kind of holler his name out. Kid, probably no more than 12 years old, comes running in. Yeah? You called, sir? Why is everybody looking at me like that?
You brought out the food?
No. I just take the lid off the soup tureen and dip a ladle in it and offer him a sip.
It's not my time to eat, but thank you. Can I, sir? And he looks up at the first mate. Sure, Joey. Go ahead. He comes over and takes it and goes to take a drink. You guys doing anything?
I'm going to wait and see if he takes a drink.
I'm going to do an insight check during this whole process.
Sure.
0. sorry. It's the natural one. I keep thinking that insight is intelligence based versus wisdom based.
Correct.
So
I will also do an insight check.
As will I.
It's a shame I'm not there. I'm good at that. Too bad I'm on guard duty.
You all feel that he's being truthful, and he gets that ladle right up to his lips.
I'll smack it out of his hand.
And we'll take it away.
Fling. What? Did I do something wrong?
Unfortunately, no.
Did anything out of the ordinary happen before you brought us the dinner?
No. I came in, I put it on the trolley like the chef said. Why is the chef on the floor?
You put it on the trolley. You took it
into the eating area where everybody was ready, and then I served you guys the soup and gave you guys the butter and the biscuits, and then I left like I'm supposed to.
Rose not there, but so we've had this contact with it. No one else has gotten a hold of the food.
I look at him as like, has anything today gone weird for you? Met anyone you don't know?
Only you guys and the noble.
Were you in contact with any of the new cargo being taken on?
No. The only new cargo today was yours.
Kid Rose, there like any biscuits on the side table in here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I throw a couple at the kid.
Woo. And he kind of holds him close and is like, can I go?
I look at the first mate.
And he's like, I don't think the kid's smart enough to do anything. This is the same kid that I asked to go get a bucket of steam.
I chuckle.
And Lord help him, he tried.
I look at him and was like, go on.
So it now comes
out.
Sorry to bother you.
So whatever happened to this stew happened before he took it up to the dining and after it was cooked.
It might have happened.
Or it happened at the table.
It happened after he left the room and before anyone else got into the room.
But, well, we walked into the room, the captain and the noble were already at the table.
Right.
And it depends on if he brought it in before or during they were there.
Well, only one of them's alive to question, so.
Actually, I was going to say, while I'm on guard duty with a noble and he's recovering with Kibble there with me, I was going to start questioning him on what happened before we got there. Because Draho just wants to know what was going on in that room before he showed up, that we all got poisoned.
He lets you know that he and the captain had been talking for about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes while they were waiting for you. They heard the report that you guys were coming, which was several days to almost a week early, and captain headed out. He sat and waited. Then you all came back in.
Was the food already in the room when you were talking to him?
Correct.
I was going to say, so you didn't see anybody mess with our food while you were sitting there, right?
No, of course not.
Somebody messed with our food.
We need to search the ship.
Let's go back to where we were eating and start there.
Okay.
More than likely, the target was probably the noble.
Well, they were a shit assassin.
So I'll head back there and investigate, I guess.
All right, go for it. So what you find with that roll is that it seems like the ladle has the most concentrated, kind of potent smell to it.
Okay.
Like even more than the soup itself.
See if that's magical.
Detect magic and/or identify on the ladle.
It is not magic.
Take the ladle in hand and slowly turn it 90 degrees and then back.
Okay. What you see is kind of a glistening on the surface. It's definitely not the soup.
So,
Can we see if there's any kind of delivery mechanism, like a tiny, teeny hole out of which a liquid could drip?
It doesn't seem to be. It looks like one solid piece of metal.
So
I didn't.
They just coated the ladle in the poison and then waited for the ladle to be put in the soup to serve.
That's a good way to surmise.
Since I'm now aware of the soup and all, can I use a nature to try and determine what that weird thing is that poisoned us?
Sure, go for it.
Is anyone here proficient with a poisoner's kit?
Nope. Ooh, 22.
It's definitely something exotic that you haven't seen before.
Something more exotic than a highly educated elf of myth Durana could hear about?
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow. We've been with poisons for centuries, millennia, and we don't have it. I'm not comfortable with something like that in us, but now I know this, what it looks like, what it smells like, and what it feels like. So,
never getting a land war in Asia.
Just a thought. Just a thought. Since the Minotaur to visit can supposedly read this ancient language, let's bring the ladle, see if he knows anything about it. Hopefully the smell won't go away by then.
I was going to say, we need to figure out who had access to that ladle.
Apparently they're so good that they managed to not be seen, so let's search the ship.
Well, and at this point, the first mate, now captain, is like, actually, for the moment, let's remand you guys to your rooms. We'll do a full search of the ship, come back to you once we've proven that it's not you.
You think we poisoned ourselves?
Draho?
One would hope not, but there was a diplomat on board.
I'm not even grabbing his wrist, I'm just going to put my hand on Draho's shoulder. Draho, we have nothing to hide, let them do their job.
I don't like being accused of such a foul and dirty
You're not
trick. If I wanted any of you dead, you'd have an arrow in your eye.
Draho, we know that's true. Let them be wrong about it, and then...
Kedra?
Yep.
Are there any cumulatives on the poison?
Any what?
Cumulative effects on the poison.
If it continues to go, you do still suffer the poison effect, and it may continue to damage your innards.
Draho, just give them a moment to rule us out.
So, needing a neutralize, or will it wear off?
Not too sure at the moment. The way that the material seems that's on the ladle, it looks like it would last quite some time.
Coat you like Pepto-Bismol.
Mm-hmm. Please, if you'll all to your rooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am going to, again, following this protocol, I feel like this was an assassination, so I'm going to stick with the Lord and keep Kibble with me.
I want to rock an insight check on the first mate.
Go for it.
Because I'm not leaving that guy unguarded.
Wow.
Seems totally reasonable.
mean, Raho's annoyed, but Ark's threatened to break his wrist again, so he's gonna comply.
Yeah, seeing as there's nothing better to do right now.
I did not break Draho's wrist. I was trying to reassure him.
Anytime you put a firm hand on Draho, he assumes pain is coming next. You've conditioned him like Pavlov.
That's why I didn't go for the wrist. I was trying to be like, look, we know do it.
He just thought you were getting more creative.
Ark, the wrist breaker, bane of adolescence.
Let me put this in terms you'll understand, Raho. These peasants don't know better. Give them a chance to learn.
Fine, I'm fine with it. I'll go. It's just, I'm going to the Lord's room with kibble, and I'm bringing my box.
Hey, Kidra, chat.
Yep.
So glad I didn't let the dragon eat from the table this time.
He probably would have been fine.
Yeah, he might have, or it might be super effective against dragons. I can't identify.
That'd be a waste. That'd be a waste of a specialized poison on not dragons.
You don't know. Assassins can be weird.
So, aside from Misaki, is anyone still poisoned? All right. So then it's just Misaki, Romney, and Russell.
I mean, until the next long rest when our good paladin, or do you get that back on short rests?
Long rest.
Yeah, until the next long rest is over and he can do it again.
Between a bard and a druid, we have more access to anti-poison.
I was going to say, yeah, we've got at least two bards and a druid.
Yeah, it's a long rest for him.
I don't know what their spell selection are, but I would hope they would have something that could do this.
They have the capacity, but they don't necessarily have it memorized currently.
That's fair.
It's memorize spells?
They have to prepare them still.
Yep.
Oh.
Will standard curing take care of the poison damage itself, but not the poison?
Correct.
Okay.
All Russell has to do is turn into something with lots of hit points, and it's maybe immune to poison.
Are our rooms together, or do we have each our own separate rooms?
So you guys have a pair of rooms that are across the hall on the second level of the deck, which is below the mess hall. The Lord's room is on the same level as the mess hall.
So I will grab the other two that are poisoned besides myself and perform a prayer of healing while we're in the room waiting to help mitigate the damage that we are taking.
Okay.
We had a tin of Keotman's ointment. There should be several doses.
Correct.
I was going to say, how many doses were in it?
Total of 3.
Oh, well, we can get 2 more of them then, because I only used 1. I'm not that greedy.
I mean, this is a situation it's for, so sure.
Okay. So who else is getting them?
Assumably the bard. I mean, the druid, I assume he can fix his own poison given enough time.
That is potential.
So he's a druid. If he can't unpoison himself, what's his even purpose?
Well, you're also assuming that he out-heals the poison and doesn't die.
You just got to keep wild shaping to get into it.
Do a T-Rex every time.
He's not high enough level for that yet.
Additionally, the Kyotams will do 2d8 plus 2 hit points back.
Okay, so am I casting prayer or am I using the Keotmans with one of the other missing people?
I also got 18 back. Nice.
You.
Just go with the ointment for now, I guess.
Okay.
All right. So with that, everyone aside from Russell is cured, and we'll say that he polymorphs into something that is poison resistant or immune to happily just go nap.
See, druids can handle poison just fine.
So, that being said, some point in the next hour, the first mate comes into the Lord's room and tells Draho to go back to your guys' room.
Yeah. If the Lord comes with us.
This is his room. He paid for it.
Well, I am not leaving him alone. This very well could have been an assassination attempt against him. I'm not about to leave him alone.
Which could have been perpetrated by your group.
All right, then you can hang out with the two of us.
Well, you're either going to leave his room comfortably, or you're going to leave his room in stocks.
Do we hear this argument from down the hall?
They're on a
Oh, you hear
floor.
Draho. Doesn't matter where you are. You hear a pissed off elf when he's getting Karen.
Draho,
Karen
we are
time.
guests.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to my box that I brought with me. I'm going to push under his bed gently.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say to Kibble, Kibble?
Actually, you notice that Kibble's not there.
Oh, of course, he leaves me right when I'm in the middle of an argument. No, since we've left this room, if he winds up dead, this whole boat is going to meet the wrath of a dragon slaying party. And I'm going to leave the room, and while I'm leaving, I'm going to mentally tell my pseudo-dragon in his box, keep an eye on the Lord, but stay subtle.
Who's in each room?
Huh?
We have 2 rooms that we share, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 rooms for the whole
Right.
thing, right? Who's in the room with me and who's in the other room? I went to the room without the poisoned people.
Yeah, I will also be in the non-poisoned room.
Okay.
And Kaizan would have been in the room with you then.
Actually, I'll say while we were waiting, I'll ask Navara, can you make your little animal friend smaller and sneaky?
Sure. Let's see, what are my options for that?
By the way, my pseudo-dragon acknowledged what I told him to do.
He did.
Something can go
Okay.
like a spider.
I'm pretty sure that's an option.
I don't know. I don't know how your magic works.
1 second.
Frickin' magic, how does it work?
Yeah, sick spider is an option.
Real quick.
So yeah, can I do that and send it out to go investigate?
Certainly.
Have it climb on the ceiling.
Does take a bit of time for casting on that, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an hour.
Yep.
So I'm going to get back to the room the whole time storming and cursing in Elven, Sylvan, every language I know really aggressively. Get back to the room that I assume Ark is Nivara are in, whatever room they're in. I'm going to storm
I'm in
in.
the hallway now yelling at you to get in here, so...
Yeah, I'm going to shut the door behind me and then take a deep breath. It's hard to stay that angry nowadays. I'm getting too old.
Yeah, just go chill out in there. And as he's going in there, I'm just kind of watching out the doorway to make sure that the first mate / acting captain doesn't also go into the room.
Yeah, I was about to say, by the way, guys, I left my pseudo-dragon in the room, so if anything happens, we'll get a warning.
Okay, but I'm
I assume you mentioned that very quietly.
Yeah, I whisper it pretty much to the guys in the
that
room
he
with
knows
me.
to be subtle about. But I'm just kind of like watching for the first mate to leave.
Oh, he does.
And I'm going to stay.
Something to be pointed out.
Close the door behind me, just as a sign of good faith. But I'm going to stay. I'm going to look at Draho and be like, "Stay quiet," and I'm going to listen as carefully as I can into the hallway.
You hear the footsteps of him going away.
Okay, and I'm going to stay listening until Navara can change her familiar.
All right. So basically, over the next roughly half an hour, you hear footsteps rushing up and down the hall. Sounds like people are just kind of overturning and searching everything throughout the ship. At the end of that point, there's a knock at your door.
I wait a second to make it not super obvious I was waiting there. Then I open the door. Yep.
Okay. Captain Blythe stands in the hallway as the door opens and addresses you. Well, given your contract with the Crimson Cardinal and where it came from, the crew trusts that you're not the culprit. A thorough review of the crew shows no stores or emptied stores or anything that could have been used for this sort of poison. It really leaves only one person that could have committed this. As much as I hate to say it, all things point towards Lord Ragnod. Both as a noble and a diplomat, we have no capacity to arrest him. However, should he find his way into chains, once we drop you off Tantris, we'll make our way for Ravens Bluff, where the ship will most assuredly be searched upon landing. And hearing our account, the diplomat may be taken into custody by the City Watch. He nods curtly, turns, and kind of stalks back up the deck.
I made an insight check on that.
Mm-hmm.
Total 20.
Yep, he sounded very truthful.
Okay, with this new info, I'm going to telepathically mention to the pseudo-dragon, has the Lord been doing anything suspicious?
You get kind of pictures of him doing a bit of writing, packing a few things, unpacking a few things, repacking a few things.
Does it seem like he's trying to hide something, or does it seem more like he's just getting his stuff in order? Like from what I'm seeing, if I can identify.
Mostly just muddling around.
Okay, I'm going to relay this all to the room really quietly, what my pseudo-dragon's seeing.
Alrighty. And Kai, I think you were trying to say something?
Well, I was going to point out about a half hour ago that we are fighting a death cult. So death really isn't a deterrent for these folks. So this dude poisoning us and him dying in the process might not be a downside for him. And he is a rather aged and befuddled individual.
Yeah. I mean, it fits. I just don't like the idea of people poisoning themselves and everyone else.
Well, I think we've got a while before we have to make land.
Yep, roughly 2 days.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask my pseudo-dragon to keep a watch on him.
Okay.
See if anything suspicious happens. When we get close to land, we can storm in and take him captive.
Well, I'm also, when I'm going to whisper to Draho, like, I'm taking him away from the door, whispering as much as I can. Your pseudo-dragon's kind of just checking out in the room.
He's in his box, so he's popping up to keep an eye on things, but he's under the bed, so he shouldn't be seen.
That's why I'm having Navarra make her familiar into a spider. When he goes to sleep, we can have the spider maybe take a look around.
Smart.
I have my moments.
Yep.
So, towards the end of that rest of that hour that it takes for Navarro to get that prepped, you do get a picture back from the pseudo-dragon of the Lord kneeling down, and where his face had been human, and so all of these previous pictures had been just kind of like feet stumbling around and hands.
Yeah.
The face is that of a kind of gold dragon.
Oh, yeah, I am definitely going to mention this to the guys in the room. I'm going to be like, heads up from Draken Rakar, the greatest fucking dragon in history. The dude has a golden dragon face now. We might want to bust in and take him down.
Huh.
I mean, a golden dragon face may or may not be indicative of anything. I mean, we have been dealing with dragon problems.
We've been dealing with a dragon cult.
Okay, so we've dealt with the Baz people. Has Ark ever encountered or heard of a dragonborn?
I wouldn't see why not. They're rather prolific now that Toril and Abertoril are put back together.
Gotcha. And would he know that the metallic ones tend to be good?
They tend to be, yes. Mm-hmm.
Aren't golden ones supposed to be nice?
Can I, through the message of what I see from my pseudo-dragon, can I insight to determine if the guy looks Like, if he's a dragonborn or if he's more just something else. Is there any way for me to identify what he is other than just got a dragon head and used to be human?
So rather than looking like your standard dragonborn, you see more frills, the kind of spiked topper, very reptilian eyes. If it's a dragonborn, it's an odd offshoot.
Well, I'm going to mention that. I'm going to say, guys, I've seen a lot of draconic kin in my studies. I've met a lot of people. I've never seen a dragonborn that looks like this. This is not a normal dragonborn.
Well, let's just send the spider up now, because I'm assuming it's been an hour now.
Yep.
And just for clarification, the familiar is considered a fey creature?
It can be a fey, celestial, or devil.
Well, no, like as a creature type, it's considered fey as opposed to a beast.
Yeah,
It's one of those three types, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
All right. So your spider goes on Mission Impossible. Cue appropriate music. Gets to the room, sneaks under the door, crawls up one of the walls, and you can see this very draconian-looking, older, kind of golden dragon man thing wandering about the room, continuing to just fidget with things.
And before Navarra decided to go into remote mode, I assume she explained to me that she can't hear or see with her regular body, but
yes.
they just kind of give
I would have explained how this all works.
Okay, cool. And I will nudge your shoulder if I need you to snap back.
Yep. So I'll just give a play-by-play of what's going on.
Okay.
And while she's doing the play-by-play, I will again go back toward the door and listen in case anyone's approaching.
Okay. After another, say, 5-10 minutes of watching, you see him pull out a book that looks very reminiscent of the one that you found on some of those Baz Draconians.
That's all the proof we need, guys. Let's bust in there. Oh.
I mean, that seems like it's connected.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else,
besides, we know what's going to happen. We're going to bust in here. He's going to crush a rock and disappear.
Unless,
and then he's going to end up wherever we're going and claim that we attacked him and poisoned him.
That seems like a bad plot point.
I mean, not if we catch him unawares.
True.
Do they honestly think there's a prison that could hold us, though?
I mean, we can catch him unawares pretty easily.
Do.
I mean, so we just wait for him to go to bed. Like he's got to sleep at some point, right?
Then we have the spider do a little looking around.
Yeah. I mean, if we need more evidence, sure.
Where's Kibble?
Nowhere to be seen.
I don't know. I'm assuming
this is a problem. We need to find Kibble.
He was in the room with me, and once that guy came in, the captain came in to yell at me.
Is he still in the room?
He wasn't visible, so I assumed he ducked into a corner and got out of sight. He's pretty sneaky.
Kibble is doing Kibble things.
In which case, Kibble could be waiting for a signal, and we could just have him wait until this dude falls asleep, and then have Kibble stab the shit out of him.
I mean, Kibble stabs him when he's asleep. He might not get back up. And then we don't get any information.
That is a good question. Even though our link isn't fully established yet, can my pseudo-dragon in any way communicate with Kibble to tell him what I'm telling him?
Oh, yeah. It has telepathy with anyone that it wants.
Okay, can I ask it to see if Kibble is in the room with it?
It kind of pans around, and you can see Kibble clearly standing in a corner behind the Gold Dragon Man, trying to read over his shoulder.
Damn, Kibble's the best.
Good boy.
So I'm gonna say once Kibble's done with that.
He's some surveillance on this guy.
I was gonna say once Kibble's done with that, and he's not, so we don't surprise him. I'm gonna have Snuggles, pop into his head and say, "Hey, here's our plan when this guy goes to sleep."
Yes, I feel like we just let him go to sleep and then have Kibble steal the magic orb.
Yeah, that was what my plan was going to be. Have Kibble take if he has one of those magic orbs on him, take it from him and, unlock his door and let us just bust in there. 3 big burly people with pole arms and an axe should definitely be able to stop him.
Might I suggest also that we wait for at least a little while after he appears to go to sleep before we send him moving? It could be a fake out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I know he's being watched, so he might be pretending to sleep.
Yeah, obviously, we want to give it a little time. But...
Well, the other thing also is when he goes to sleep, will he still remain in the shape that he's in now, or will he change appearance?
I mean, I don't know if I really care about his
The
appearance.
people on the ship pretty well just dropped the hint that if we lock this dude up, they're not going to say shit. So I don't really care what color he is or what shape he is, as long as we get that book and make sure that he doesn't have his magic teleporty rock. I think we're in a strong position.
Here's the thing. If we just take the book, he can't call us out on it without revealing without giving himself away.
I don't like the idea of keeping him free on the ship. I'd rather have him in custody.
Yeah.
I would too, but
Because he could have other tricks up his sleeve.
If we able to take his book, we're getting away with that, or the guy's outing himself. Either way, we get a win.
Why don't we just take the book and throw him overboard?
Make sure we get his stone.
Yeah,
He just won his stones.
Everything is all predicated on him not having a teleporty rock.
Yeah, well, like I said, if we can get Kibble to search him, I can give Kibble the instructions like when he goes to sleep and he's going to sleep, search him for one of those teleport stones and remove it.
I don't think we're going to come up with a better plan, so let's just go with that plan. And
then we'll tie him up and we'll question him and we'll get his book.
He should grab the book first because I'm pretty sure he's not sleeping with that on him. He might actually have the stone on him while he sleeps.
Oh yeah, well Kibble can put the book in the box with Drakane.
This is all predicated on Kibble not being noticed for as long as it takes for this dude to sleep, and it also assumes he sleeps. So right now, we should probably all be ready to bust in there when Kibble jacks this up.
Bold of you to assume I'm not at all times.
Yeah. Like I said, that sounds like our plan so far, is we're going to have Kibble lift his book and any stone that he may have on him after he goes to sleep, can tuck those away in the box with Drakane to protect, and then unlock his door so we can bust in there. Put Kibble to work, man. Let him do what he does best. He's getting a bonus.
So plan A, Kibble is awesome. Plan B, we're awesome.
Pretty much.
That's how it boils down to?
Pretty much.
All right. Well, since this might take a while, I'm gonna take a bit of a nap. So.
And I'm just gonna hang out in surveillance mode.
Yeah,
until it's time to go.
Okay. I wanna be
second
fresh
horizon is really useful.
So I'll look at because I'm sure Navarro will slip in and out to talk to us so we can have a conversation. I'll be like, okay, the moment you think something might be happening, you wake me up.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull out a flute and proceed to start playing.
Okay.
Oh, look at you, another music person.
So,
Yeah,
comes out decent.
little rusty.
Well enough.
But another hour goes by. Between Navarro and Draho, you're able to see Kibble kind of sneak underneath the bed, sitting there with Rokam. The Draconian continues to read. Another hour goes by, the same. Another hour, the same. Another hour. The same. How long are you guys going to wait?
What
I mean,
time
I only need-
What time in the day is it?
It was evening when you guys came aboard. So at this point, you're looking about 5 hours later. So about 11 p.m.
At that point, Ark wakes up. Still?
I say we wait until we give it a couple more hours, see if he winds down. If not, he may not have to sleep. He might have some sort of enchantment up that keeps him from sleeping.
Can your dragon hear if he's talking?
Yeah, if he says anything, my dragon will be able to let us know. So would the spider, I think.
Yep.
Spiders don't. Can spiders hear? Legit question. I don't know.
Believe so? I'm going to go with yes.
It's a magic spider.
So.
Hand
It's
waving.
made of magic.
So we'll go with yes. It doesn't seem to be talking. Just every now and again you hear the flip of that page, or in Ivar's case, see him flip the page and continue reading.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have, since Kibble was reading over his shoulder, have Draken ask Kibble to inform me, like a game of telephone, what he read.
You get pictures of dragons, shooting stars, blood.
Yeah, pretty standard
Does that
dragon
give
cult
me,
shit.
kind of some reminiscent of those visions I was having from my bear.
Fairly, yes.
And he's just been reading this book for 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing anything else.
Nope, just sitting in the chair reading that book.
Pull the spider out real quick. Like, don't chuck him back. But crawl him out of the room.
Why?
Just do it.
Okay, I guess I can do that.
Okay, spider comes out.
What's your dragon say he's doing?
You see feet in the chair.
So he hasn't really changed anything since then. I'm gonna.
I think he might know we're watching.
Maybe, but I mean, if that's the case, then I say we give him a couple more hours. If he doesn't go to sleep, we bust in there, take him by surprise.
How about you go back up and ask for your dragon back? He might not know Kibble's there.
That's a good point. Kibble did duck out pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, let me prepare a well-polished excuse.
Your dragon can still be our little connection.
Yeah, because he can still communicate. So I'll prepare a well-planned excuse so that I don't have to screw up if I need to bluff to this guy.
We have to keep him, but he has to come to our room to feed him.
Yeah, I think I left the box in here during my rage. Can I have my box back? It has some family heirlooms. I'm not letting this guy. I never let him know there was a dragon in there to begin with. So if he knows, it's because he's sensing the dragon. Because I never showed Ricken to him at all.
Yep.
So.
All right, so heading up there?
Yep, I will head over there.
All right.
Knock on his door.
You do so. Doesn't take him very long to open the door. The chair is sitting next to it. Oh, yeah, good to see you again. What can we do for you?
I assume he's in human face?
He is.
I'm going to look at him. I think I left one of my heirloom boxes in here during my rage earlier because I can't find it anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, that box you put under the bed, right?
Yeah, let me go get it for you. I'll go grab it. Thank you.
Certainly. You might want to take the smelly one with you.
Smelly? What smelly one?
The short one. Keeps popping
Kibble?
in and out of view, but it's really weird.
Kibble, I'm gonna take the box out. Kibble, what are you doing in here?
I was just playing with Rokam.
You are troublesome. Get up on my shoulders.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna pick my box up and go. Sorry to bother you with this. Go ahead and head back to sleep or whatever you were doing.
Okay.
Or no, I was talking to the Lord when I said that. Go ahead and head back to sleep, whatever you're doing. Sorry for the inconvenience. And I'm going to leave with them.
Just reading.
Yeah. There you go. Education is important and all.
Of course. And he kind of waves the book at you.
Yep. Is it very clearly one of those spell books?
Not a spell book, but it definitely looks like that Book of Takesis.
I'm just going to say, I think I read one of those in Myth Dranor somewhere.
Oh, it's a very good book. Would you like a copy?
Yes, I would like a copy if you've got an extra.
Oh, of course. Go right ahead. And he hands it over to you.
Excellent. I'm going to take that, close the door behind me, head back to the room until you guys put the spider back in there. He sensed Kibble and my dragon, I think, but he got a copy of the book, and the spider he might not have sensed.
Here's the thing. He knew Kibble was in the room, he knew the dragon was in the room, and felt comfortable being in his dragon form.
What he has just told us is that he is aware of everything that we've been talking about. That's why he offered us the book.
Oh, no, he might just be an insane cultist that doesn't know we know anything about his
No, he
cult.
knew he was being observed. He flipped over.
Showing off.
Means he gives 0 fucks about what we're going to do or not going to do.
Yeah, I guess at this point we might as well come back in force.
If he knows what we've been talking about, there's no element of surprise. If he has the teleporty rock, it doesn't matter. He's gone before we get the door open. I bet he didn't even lock the door. In fact, it'd be nice if he just... It'd be nice if he just like chuckled now so we would know that I'm right.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the spider back.
Okay.
Assume that room's empty.
It's not. He's still sitting in the chair, reading an exact copy of that book.
Here's the thing. Either he has that little rock or he doesn't.
At this point, our only real option is to bust in on him. Because now that he knows we're on to him, it's a matter of time.
Here's the thought.
He
What if
doesn't
what if
care
he's touting?
one way or the other.
Here's the
He's
thing.
baiting us.
Here's the thing. He's getting. The whole plan was that he's being kept on the ship until they get back to Ravens Bluff, right? And we're getting off before that.
Well, he was going to the same place we are. He's the only way he's going to stay on there is if we manage to subdue and chain him.
Pretty much, we have to
Not
be
for
the
that
ones to do
cure.
Could he be going to do something to the Minotaur that we're going to go meet?
Seems
Very well.
possible.
Very well could be planning to go get the sage. I mean, it would be good to let him get off the boat with us.
I will say it's probably better to do this before we're potentially hovering over an anti-magic zone.
That too.
Alright, so let's just give it another couple of hours and see if he does any change. If there's no change, then I say we just go in.
Yeah,
None
that's
of
fair.
you are listening to
can.
me. So I'm going to ask you to be quiet and think really hard about what I'm saying. He can hear everything we are saying right now. So we might as well go sit down on his bed and talk about what we're going to or not going to do to him. We are officially outclassed in the sneaky department.
He doesn't know that. All he
Period.
knows is that we've had 2 spies in his room.
That I don't know where you're coming up with that he knows everything we're saying.
I would like to search the room to see if there's a spider.
Why would he
behind the
offer
other
a
creature that
copy?
doesn't belong here.
Aside from
Because
the
he's
fact
an
that we've
insane
been-
cultist. I mean,
Okay.
It's their thing to spread their book. It doesn't have anything secret in it. It's just a story that we all need to know.
Is anyone able to determine if he's got some kind of scrying device or his own familiar on us?
Go ahead and roll investigation.
Well, I definitely don't see it.
Investigation? Nope.
Anyone else looking around, or are we just going to go up and have a little chat?
At this point, I say we just bust in there. He's either on to us or he's not on to us. Either way, we need to act first.
Well, regardless of how this conversation with him goes, someone's also going to have to be ready to deal with the crew if they decide they want to get involved. And give them incentive to not get involved.
Doesn't sound like they particularly care to be involved.
Their captain's dead, and if their loyalty was with their captain, and they've all deemed that it wasn't us due to our charter, and that they know it wasn't them.
What I'm saying is, if you start interrogating someone on their ship they suspect being the one who murdered their captain, and we just kind of going a little vigilante on this guy, they might want words.
Well, no, they specifically said they don't want to do anything because he's a diplomat. They can't do anything. But if he were to wind up in chains on the boat, they might have some words with the people back at Ravens Bluff who might inform the guy in charge above him that he needs to be arrested.
Yeah, there's nobody on the ship's crew that's going to be a problem. That's a non-issue.
Well, in that case, let's go try and be diplomatic. And if that doesn't work, I'll use my brand of diplomacy.
I was going to say, we've got plenty of diplomacy. We've got 3 big sticks and big people to hold them.
All right, well, let's go.
All right. So you guys head upstairs, wander over to his space.
Shall we knock?
I mean,
knock
or kick open.
Knock where the door just opens on its own.
Not arc knocking.
That's a quite big map.
I mean, ship? It's supposed to be big.
Well, if you look at the chairs, the scale's a little off.
Which
Pogs are always
which
bigger
direction?
because functionally you need the combat space.
I mean, I think mine's up to scale, honestly.
So, which one is the room we're going to?
The one with the bear rug.
Okay.
I swear to God, I'm going to have a collection of these things.
Wait,
All
we
right.
weren't in the room across the hall?
No.
Well, I am.
Yeah, we were upstairs, right?
Okay, so I'm not the mouthpiece. I am what happens when that doesn't work. So I'll be ready to jump in and be the wall that I am.
I assume these barrels have line of sight on his door.
They do.
Okay, gonna post up here, arrow in the teeth, arrow on the knocked in the bow.
I thought you
And
were the
there we go.
diplomat.
Oh no, I'm done talking to him. I'm ready for war. Nothing I hate worse than a fake noble.
And as Arik and Misaki come walking up, the door swings open.
Swings open.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in the doorway?
Not in the doorway, no.
Okay, then I'm not shooting. I was prepared to shoot the first thing that comes out the doorway. Anyone want to? I mean, I'll yell, "Come on out with your hands up!"
You see a book wave in the doorway. I'm reading.
This is your last chance.
You're welcome to come in.
Because this feels like a trap, I'm gonna put an arrow through his book, pinned to the wall,
Okay.
in case he has something that's gonna trigger when something goes through the doorway.
Oh, that's okay. You fire off. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Yeah, since I'm not trying to kill slaughter the book, I'll just make a regular roll with my full accuracy. Unless you think I need to do an extra 10 damage when I hit it.
That's up to you.
I show that wall who's boss.
I'll just roll it regular. Oh, there's my natural 20.
So your arrow
Hitting a
careens
stupid
into that
book.
The book flies out of his hand and hits that wardrobe right in kind of front of the doorway.
I want to roll the damage since it's a crit. 14 damage to the book.
And that being enough damage is able to hold it steadily right into that little wardrobe.
Well, and nothing happened when the arrow went through?
Correct. You hear, oh, well, that's awfully unfriendly. I gave you a copy. You don't have to ruin mine.
He can
I
trade
want to make
copies.
I want to make a second attack on the book since I got 2 actions.
How
Alright.
sarcastic was his tone?
Only moderately.
I'm making a second attack on the book.
Go for it.
We have not
Yes.
officially entered combat rounds. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to.
You see him sitting there.
If that's the case and you're going in, and I've got
Sharp shot 17. Do I hit the book?
You do.
Damn. That goes that plan. My plan was to bonus action bounce it back at him if I missed.
Is there anything else to sit on in the room?
The bed, a couple kind of side tables next to the bed, but that's really about it.
All right. Well, then I'll sit on.
Well,
Divine
it's not-
sense. Is he actually in the corner?
He is.
are we about to do a bit of good priest, bad priest here?
I mean, y'all get in
Kendra,
there and bring
does
the
he
fire
look?
and brimstone.
Does he look human, or has he changed to himself?
Currently, he looks like the dragon.
Okay. What are you?
Well, I'm not from this world, but so many are.
I'm gonna subtly signal to Kibble. I'm gonna make sure my hand is out of his view, out of the dragon guy's view.
Mhm.
I'm gonna point to one of the tables, and basically point to the table and down, get under it.
All right. He does so.
Okay.
So, what are you doing here then?
Well, at the moment, just trying to make my way home.
Where's home?
Another sphere. One that I'm sure that you cute little lot wouldn't have anything to do with.
What's your purpose here?
As I said, I'm making my way home.
Did you poison dinner?
Of course not. Why would I poison myself?
Do you know who did?
Oh, I suspected it was one of you, especially since you've been creeping around my room all night.
I think we both know you know better than that.
I know better than to know that you weren't creeping him around my room? I don't quite understand.
I think we both know better. Damn it, you actually managed to do that.
I'm pretty sure what he's trying to say is that how could we poison dinner when you were in the room before we entered and the food was served?
Well, there's any number of ways with people with sticky fingers like your little one.
He doesn't kill people unless we tell him to, and we didn't.
So you say. I
And
say
so-
I didn't kill anyone,
Since we're both
so
just
I
taking-
say.
So since neither of us wants to take each other at their word,
Well then, we have a stalemate.
I mean, I'm not getting close to that room. I'm staying in bow shot distance.
so why are you not in your own sphere?
I was unfortunately ejected at one point. It does happen. Doorways open to random places.
Inside of 13.
Go for it.
13.
Oh, doorways do in fact open to random places.
You know all about
So-
doorways.
Inside check. He's not wrong.
So we have seen different colored kin to yourself recently.
Oh, I bet that was a fun experience. Did they explode?
A few of them.
Yeah, good.
Others just went crunch.
Oh, odd. Normally when our kind are killed, they explode or immolate.
There was a lot of fire.
What exactly
Steps
is your
back.
kind?
Trout, minimum safe distance.
My kind is the Draconians.
Say that again.
My kind is the Draconians.
That's obvious.
So if you're making your way home, What were you doing here?
As I said, I stepped through one doorway and ended up on the wrong planet. It's not, shall we say, pleasant an experience, but it does happen when one wanders.
So how long have you been stuck here?
On this sphere for several years now. I believe I've found a place outside of Tantris that will allow me home.
Why pretend to be the diplomat?
Sense motive check on his last statement.
Okay.
Maybe I cannot roll a nat 1 on a sense motive check. Ever. But I have this stupid thing in the way. Bork.
Yep.
It's not a 1.
He seems to be telling the truth. What were you saying, Navra?
Oh, crap. What was I saying? I was asking why he was pretending to be the diplomat.
Oh, well, most of the peoples of your sphere are, let's just say, casually against those that don't look like themselves.
That's a weird way to say inferior to elves.
How long have you actually been here?
As I said,
Just
about
a couple
3
years.
years.
So what happened to the real diplomat?
Oh, I am the real diplomat. I found my way to King's Reach, but the humans there were less than pleasant, so I aimed to look like one of them.
Does that jive with what Draho knows about this guy?
Give me a history check.
That's what I was just about to say. Let me history that up. Because I certainly didn't know he was a dragon type. Like Pokemans. Oh, good. 23.
That'll do. Yeah, from what you've heard, the Grand Vizier was put in place about 2.5 years ago.
Checks out. He came into his office about 2.5 years ago, and I assume he came out of nowhere.
Basically, the former Grand Vizier had just retired, so he put forth his capacity due to his overabundance of magic.
Are you...
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to pass that along too. Yeah, he seemed to come out of nowhere, so far it's lining up with his history that I know.
Do you have an interest in the same artifacts as the other Draconian you said that we found?
What artifacts?
Look, Burke, I can the dock of what you're saying, but you and I have to have a straight conversation. You're flapping your bone box a lot. Most of these people won't get it. But I can see.
True. Very true.
I produced the Dragonstone.
Those. No, I've no intention on those.
See, what's got us all hackled up is that book he's reading. It's a lot like what we've seen these other... Well, they're not quite like you. They're a little different. And whatever dark this book is, they seem to be talking some crazy balmy crap about the creeping doom, and we're trying to get a handle on it, see? You help us?
Right. The Creeping Doom. I've heard reference to that. Some sort of ancient, truly ancient dragon. Potentially even Dracolich. Thankfully, I won't be here when that sort of thing comes down. Oddly
I don't
enough,
know how much time we've got, Cutter. They say they've got 2 score of these things rolling around, and they're going to do something pretty bad.
Oh, well, with any luck, I'll be gone in the next few days.
Can you give us any kind of handle on the dock of what we need to do to stop this from happening?
Well, do what you can to collect as many of those as you can before they do. And then it's going to come down to a big fight between those of them that have them and you.
Epic foreshadowing.
Right.
And as a note to all the other players, the kind of speech and cant that Kaizen is using is very odd to you all. Not only in character, but out of character.
That was just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he flips his dialect speech, I kind of nod my head and look at him, so the bells on the mask kind of chime.
Okay.
I just assume he's finally showing his true culture.
But Cockney accent.
What I can do is point you in the direction of one that I've heard of. Rumor that I've come across is one lies within the old ruins of Sarbreen. I believe a new city sits upon it, though.
Sorry,
History check.
What was the name of that city?
Sarbreen.
History check.
History every time. 24 for me.
Someone's laughing and I don't know why.
Yep. Too much out of character information. What you know is that Ravens Bluff sits on the ruins of an old dwarven city known as Sarbreen. There's also a city called Sarbernar to the south of it.
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. This is out of character, but dwarves.
That is very
I'm not
true.
saying it was dwarves, but it was dwarves. Continue.
Well, that's fascinating all, but Drawho has a new panic in his mind. If we're going to take this guy at his word that he did not poison the meal, and we know we didn't, that means the crew is all in on it, or at least most of them are.
Or someone managed to sneak aboard the vessel, plant the ladle, and get off of the ship without being detected.
I don't know.
Or
The crew
and
seemed
the captain were in on it, and if nobody else has got anything to hide, the instigator can question everybody and truly say that they didn't do it.
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe he took this as an opportunity to take some authority from the ship and get rid of us. I'm just saying, I'm now nervous of him since I'm getting more vibes that this guy didn't try and poison us. He seemed real anxious for us to tie up the noble and leave him to the concern of the crew.
What
was the assassin?
What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
On this world, most people call me the Grand Vizier. What I truly am would not be understood in your tongue. Call me Bob.
Oi, Bert, which orb is you from?
One called Corinne.
Good to know. If I ever end up, you make it back, maybe I'll look you up.
Oh, do so. He mutters off a couple different city names.
I'll actually write them down, or at least try to. Not sure if these are the letters you were used from.
He takes your scroll and writes them for you.
Thanks. Let's see. What's another thing I was going to ask you? It'll come to me.
Draw over there doing somersaults.
No, I'm going over to. Oh wait, no, you said Kibble was under
Kai,
the table.
you
Never
sound very more different. Why?
I'll explain everything later. I'm certain you sound really different where you're from too.
I am going to go up to Nivara though and ask her if she still has her spider handy.
Oh, that was the thing I was going to ask you. Just for my own. You could hear every word we were saying up there, right?
Oh, of course. I hear every word on the ship.
Okay. You hear every word on the ship?
Indeed.
So what was the investigation like that the new captain ran while we were locked up?
Seemed very thorough. Telling everyone to check everywhere.
What's your read on him? You think he's balmy or is he in on it?
Could very well be. Truly, none of my concern. just another human.
He tried to poison you. I think it is your concern because he wants us to tie you up and leave you at his mercy when we get off.
Oh, well, that wouldn't really work anyway.
Kind of figured that. So the next question is, was you actually even poisoned?
No, but after seeing others starting to turn green, I figured I needed to look like I was too. Poison doesn't quite affect my kind.
So what did my healing touch do for you then?
Oh, it felt rather nice. I haven't been touched like that in a while.
Ooh,
I shake my head and the bells go tingle, tingle, tingle.
Well, at this point, we don't really have any leads unless we want to go bust into the crew and take on the whole ship.
Wish you could have given me
we
the
could
nod
take
and the wink earlier. Some other people could have used that.
I could, but one has appearances to maintain. Your lord would know.
Hey, what? Who? What?
Who's
Me?
that?
Bob,
Who's that?
when they hauled the captain away when he succumbed, what did you hear as he was being hauled away?
Mostly choking, puking, dying.
I didn't know if you heard any conversation coming from those taking him.
Nothing of consequence.
have you heard anyone speaking on the ship who doesn't seem to be on the ship anymore?
Now that I think of it, yes, there was an odd mind on the ship at one point.
Can you go into more detail?
Unfortunately, I never saw the individual. Thoughts came across as thinking of the soup, thinking of the ladle, thinking of the deaths on the ship that it would come through.
Sorry, say that last part again.
Thinking of the deaths on the ship that would happen through it.
Do you have some sort of psychic link to them? Can you implant their image into our minds?
No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I can just hear what's around me.
Ah, damn.
You give us the sample of their voice.
Again, doesn't quite work that way. Not the voice, mental pictures.
Okay, so they were just trying to figure out which decks to get through.
Correct.
And they're no longer aboard.
Also correct.
I'm not
Okay.
sure if you remember the specific, but did they seem to leave before we took off?
I believe so.
Or during our loading, because it would have been a good time of confusion to have gotten back off.
Yeah, that's a lot of people doing a lot of things.
That may well be.
I don't find anything in his story that isn't believable.
Feel like he has no reason to be the one that poisoned us.
He's
Not only that,
an extraordinarily good liar. Or,
not only that, I feel that if he didn't want to be sitting here talking to us, this boat would not be here.
Yeah.
he also seemed to be willing to give us the benefit of the doubt, which was very polite of him.
One has to try.
We're sitting in a room talking about how we're going to possibly murder him, and he's just been patiently waiting for it.
This guy sounds like he has exit strategy on top of exit strategy prepared. So,
Yeah. The next question is, what do we do? Because the crew, if they're not in on it, they need someone to pin this on.
Well,
Will they believe us if we say the guy they suspect of doing the murder says that someone else was on the ship?
well,
tell them that I did it. Put the shackles on me and leave me in my room. It'll be fine.
I was going to suggest that, but I didn't want to. I know your job as Grand Vizier is probably. I didn't know if you were ready to give
You're
that up
getting
yet.
ahead of yourself. His job as Grand Vizier is well safe because no one's going to believe us over him.
I mean, it also.
And not only that, he's already stated that he is going to be leaving and going back home.
I know, but if that
So
falls
nice.
through, that's a really good position to lose.
Regardless of how this ends, it sounds like their job's over in a matter of days. Either way.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's go for it.
So it sounds like that whole facade has served its purpose.
Yes, for the most part.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't want to chain him up and leave him here, even if he could escape, because that could ruin his career.
All right. Well, it sounds like the shackles are more of a formality.
They're very cute.
I take the book off the wardrobe.
With the two arrows planted close together?
Yeah, and then I walk back out to wherever Lord Draho left the other one and flip them and bring back the clean book to Bob.
He takes it and he's like, oh, that won't be necessary. Snaps his fingers and the two books switch places, and then kind of waves his hand over the book and it repairs itself.
That's cool.
Oh, then that's simple magic. I'm sure some in your party can do that.
It's still cool.
Okay, yeah.
What about the other book, the one for the Minotaur? Can he tell us anything about that?
Do you show it to him?
Sure.
Okay.
Big book, yeah.
He seems like he knows about other
Here's
stuff.
The book maps out.
I was gonna say, I can read some of it, but there are parts that I don't quite decipherably understand.
This is a copy of the Book of Stars. This is a, shall we say, guidebook on how to travel through the Flogium without needing much more than a port key.
Draho's got to tuck that into his coat real safe-like.
Well, it's always been a job getting the key.
That it is.
I look at one, and I look at the other.
Why don't we all travel out, have a sit down? Maybe we could have a proper dinner. Have Kibble put something together.
Oh, of course.
That's not going to look weird if the crew comes in and sees us sitting with him, happy-go-lucky eating.
If they have a problem with it, they can speak up.
Fair. I mean, what's killing an entire crew worth?
I think it's worth a ship. I think that's what it's worth.
Oh, he wants to go there?
I
Well,
mean,
it is a dining room table.
I figured we'd just
Probably.
sit out here and shoot this stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to have Kibble prepare us a simple meal.
Okay.
Now that I know he's not real royalty, I'm not too concerned about it being
Well,
extravagant.
you still don't know about that.
I mean, he could be royalty on his planet.
Well, his
Now
planet,
that I know that
his
you
planet's
speak
lineage
can't, I'm
doesn't
probably going to
count.
switch back so the others can.
Oh, of course.
Excellent. So now that that's done, we'll have a nice meal. We'll slap some shackles on you, return you to your room. Go back to our room, and yeah, we'll finish our journey.
What a nice murder suspect.
Yeah. Hope you find your way back to your home plane safely.
Oh, I should. There's a particular flower that grows in Ravens Bluff that will be the way to get me home.
Oh, really?
What would that be?
The Ravens flower, the city's flower.
Huh. Seems like that'd be pretty common.
It is, but it needs to grow from a particular tree there. One that's been gardened for quite a long time.
Which
One might think that it's one of the oldest trees on the planet.
Older than the elven lineage?
Could be. May have been one of the first. One of the first even potentially planted by your people.
That's actually something. Would Draho be able to history on that?
You wouldn't have heard that anything in Ravensbluff is that old, especially since it was a dwarven city.
Fair enough. I was just curious about any trees we might have planted in the early days.
They were planted everywhere. It is a possibility that it might be one.
guys,
Okay, that's all. Just any specifics, though.
we
Okay.
just need to go back to Ravens Bluff, hire a tour guide.
So, we eat before we retire to the rooms. Are we going to continue conversing, or
would you like to continue on?
I was going to pull a set of tiles out and spark a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest that we should all probably turn in and get some rest. We've got basically, because it's a 2-day trip, so next day we're going to be showing up in at our destination, right? Late tomorrow.
Correct.
Well, I was going to say, we're going to the swamp, right?
Yep. Yeah. Which is just north of Tantris.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we probably want to get some rest and, call it a night.
I would recommend, well, yeah.
All right. So we'll go ahead and kill that and close that.
And we pumped the brakes at the last
That was
minute
the
and
least
didn't manage to get
violent
ourselves
piece of
murdered.
It was the least violent piece of a map we've ever done.
So while the remainder of the 2-day flight is uneventful, there is a mournful tone across all the crew. The ship ends up landing a few miles outside of the swamp, the edge of which can be seen, which seems to hold out any light from entering its watery sanctum.
Well, that's legitimately unnerving.
Kedra, on the second day, I probably would have also. What is that? Maybe I don't have it yet.
What are you looking for?
The spell you put on a corpse.
Oh, Gentle Repose.
Yes.
Let's double check.
Pretty sure it's 2nd level.
That's what I thought.
It is 2nd level Necromancy Ritual.
God, why am I so good with magic?
Anyway, second day I would have cast that, so it would preserve the body for them until they got proper burial for the captain.
All right, sounds good.
And also, when we do how I know I suggested everyone rest, but since Draw only needs 4 hours of light meditation, I am going to continue grilling that guy for any kind of histories or knowledges of this place that he may know. Ask him about the book.
He can tell you a bit more about the book. As far as are we talking about the Book of Takesis or the Book of Stars?
Both. Just I'm going to grill him on everything we have going and see what he knows.
Okay.
And just bring that to the party the next day.
Sure.
Because I'm the one that doesn't need a lot of sleep.
Not a problem. We'll table that for the moment, and I'll give you a full write-up on it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. We could just summarize it.
Yep. So that being the case, are you guys traversing out into the swamp?
I guess. We have no real choice.
And I don't know. Do we have any ogre slaying knives?
Give me.
Oh, then I guess we are as prepared as we can be.
All
to the swamp.
So you guys get unloaded from the airship, and then traversing in the swamp is slow going.
Before we leave, let's grab some grappling hooks from all of our stuff in the cart.
Well, the cart's going with us.
In a swamp?
You're going to take an adamantine cart into a swamp.
Well, I'm not leaving it on the airship.
It's going back to Ravens Bluff. We could just pay them to make sure it gets back to our mercenary company.
Well, not only that, if Russell and who else? They can stay with the cart and then deliver it to the rest of the company.
Yeah.
Which, if you want, they could stay with the carts outside of the swamp and wait for you guys.
Okay, that's fine.
That's also.
I just didn't want to leave the carts on here.
Okay.
I put a lot of money into that cart. I want to keep it.
Oh, then
so you would have lost it taking it into the swamp. So.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Also, if that's the way we're doing it, before we actually go into the swamp, I will then use my class ability to cast as a ritual, speak with animals and say to the horses, "You got to go away again, but you guys are brave. So you'll just wait out here, okay? You stay here where it's safe.
Oh.
That is not how you bring up the cart's inventory.
I thought you were about to criticize what I was doing.
No. I think I just pulled the cart in as a playable piece under my control.
No, that's actually how you do it. In fact, go ahead and grab the adamantine card and the warehouse if you want.
Oh, okay.
Just say I switched back my familiar at some point overnight.
Okay.
Don't worry, we're going to get you back to town soon, and we're going to get you some special food and like some salt licks. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, that sounds great. Until then, we can go ahead and graze here.
Where's the inventory for the cart? It doesn't show it.
It should.
Is there an inventory tab?
Yep.
Doesn't have it on the inventory tab.
That's because it's cart number 2 that you've got open.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. So, while you're looking at that, going through the swamp, the water is in many places a good foot deep, and the silt below feels as if it's attempting to keep you in place. A slow, hours-long trudge through the wetlands, you end up entering an opening, a somewhat kind of centralized grove without a canopy. The first light that you've seen since entering the area. In the swamp grove before you sits a one-story building. Its walls sink into the water. And though a bit ramshackle at first, you can see that the care and work that has taken to keep this place from having the elements reclaim it has definitely been put in. Trees have been uprooted and hewn. Remnants of them litter the circle of the grove, almost creating a haphazard barrier of sorts, though many entrances do remain.
This whole time, I have been asking... Misaki, you have the light cantrip, correct?
Say again?
You have the light cantrip?
Yes.
I'm going to have you just keep casting that until it doesn't work. So that way we have an idea of when we may have entered an anti-magic area.
Okay. I'll keep lighting Lord Dorho's bow.
I would say it's just like a stick, but sure.
That's not as dramatic or as annoying to Lord Draho.
Yeah, but like a stick.
I know exactly why he's doing it, because it would annoy Draho to have a bright light on his bow at all times. Especially if you make it blink.
Oh, well, that'd be dancing lights. I can cast that too.
Well, either way, just something that we can know when it goes out and you didn't make it go out.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I may just put dancing lights on the bow and just throw light on something in front.
Yeah, again, I'll just pick up a stick and you can just, or like a rock or something. So once it shuts off, I'll be like, did you do that on purpose?
I'm good.
Because it lasts an hour, right?
Sure, I'd have to look. But yeah, no. If it goes out, I'll try and cast it again. If it doesn't let me cast, then we know it's dead.
Yep, and we know that things are going to get weird.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You find that as you attempt to cast, the magic just kind of fizzles at your fingertips.
As we're approaching this?
As you enter within just the swamp area, so any casting done within there.
So as soon as we get into the swamp.
Correct.
Oh.
Okay. Well then, when we get toward this hut then, try it again.
You find the same.
And it pops out, you guys stay by me. You let me fight whatever it is, and you guys do what you have to.
I don't think we're here to fight anything.
I don't think so either.
We don't know if something could jump us.
I'm just saying if. We're trying to keep this peaceful, but if it ends up not being peaceful, here's my magic.
All right, so move yourselves as you please.
Well, with Navarra going up ahead, I stayed near her.
And being Draho, that's a house. That should give me a nice clean...
That is a house, yes.
Well, that should give me a nice clean line of sight on the door.
Are you
So
going to move up?
I'm trying to manipulate the map right now.
Bro's gonna stay there and do his usual Overwatch, arrows ready to shoot in.
I'm just gonna keep going until something
since
happens.
We're trying to make friends, maybe don't have an arrow knocked.
I have the bow pointed down. It's casually leaning.
Or you could, not have an arrow on it.
All right, I'll unknock the arrow, but I'm keeping it in my hand.
I think that's the best I'm going to get out of you, so I'll accept it. Should we announce ourselves?
Yeah, I'm just gonna call out hello.
You don't seem to get any reply.
I'll send my owl ahead.
Okay.
Fly around.
As your owl
This is
gets
annoying.
close, it can hear inside the cabin kind of a great slumbering snore, punctuated at odd intervals with unintelligible mooing sounds.
The magical owl works?
Call out
It's
again.
a creature that is alive in the area.
Interesting.
Yep.
Since we're testing that, I want to try to extend my claws.
They don't pop out.
And I mean, if we're testing all this stuff, I'm going to try and enchant an arrow to be magical and assume it doesn't work because it's actual magic.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to cover the bases. Just wanted to cover the bases.
Okay.
Can I change?
No.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Unless anyone has an objection, I'm going to go knock.
Navarre kind of just motions you forward.
There we go.
Misaki shrugs shoulders and waits.
Okay, so, the door, is it just like a door, or is it got like a knocker on it, or what?
It looks like a standard door, but there's no handle to it. It looks like it's just kind of lean-toed against the side of the building.
So it does the job, but it's not pretty.
Yep.
All right, I am going to, not enough to, as far as Ark would think, do any damage to the door, but do some, 3 solid boom, boom, boom on the door.
The snoring ends up being punctuated with a bit of snorting, and then you hear a bit of a rustle inside, and then more snoring.
Russell's back with the cart.
Seems to be snoring.
Snoring again?
Yep.
I think we need more cowbell. I'll do it more like boom, 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 boom. Hello?
Yeah, you hear a bit more snorting. Okay.
Drugs are back, okay? Snorting, but all right. Then I'll. Once I hear the snorting, I'll knock some more.
Okay. At that point, there's just kind of a giant plate-covered hand that comes out, grabs onto the edge of the door, pulls it sideways, and there you see the large armored form of a minotaur in rust-colored full plate armor. He's in his left hand got what looks to be a giant-sized, wicked-looking 4 spiked flange mace that the points of which are polished to like a near reflective sheen.
I respect his style.
And who are you?
We were told to bring you this book, and I'll just pull out the Book of Stars and hand it over.
Sorry to wake you.
You have the Book of Stars? How came you by this book?
We got it from our friend Eno.
May I have it?
Yeah, we brought it here for you. Here.
So taking it, you can see kind of tears streaking down his cow face. This can help usher me home to my Dayanara. What What do you want for this?
We were told if we gave you this book, you would be our ally.
Duty is as duty does. What do you need?
So there's some, really bad dragon people, and they're trying to, I assume destroy the multiverse.
Lovely. When do we fight?
We're not sure yet. We have to gather some things.
I understand. You see him reach up to his pauldron, and he kind of unlatches a piece of it, and it's that same fist with kind of the spiked sun symbol behind it. When you need, and he holds it out to you, call into this. I will come.
What do we call you?
I am Sky Knight Bill Faerun.
Sky Knight Bill.
Bail Faerun.
I'm sure that we will have that in text form later.
That you will. In fact, I'll take it there now for you, just so you guys have it.
Yay!
I point at the emblem. What symbol is that?
I am Legion of Boros. Pending the threat, more of the Legion may come.
Okay.
Oh, I think we got what we needed here. We'll, how do we contact you if we need you for the final charge?
We've got.
He just said.
We call into his magical symbol thing.
Oh, I missed that part. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gave us the Captain Marvel pager.
Yep.
I
enough.
would prefer to suggest he just gave us the ability to call in the cavalry.
I think it's we call him the cavalry. Yeah. Notice that when we handed him the book, he seemed rather moved by it.
Moving along.
Y'all better shut up.
He was utterly happy that he got it.
Yes!
You all shut up. No puns.
You think we're milking this photo too hard?
Would you say he jumped over the moon?
All right, guys, I think we're done here. We better hoof it on out of here.
Yep.
And with as much...
Is there a welcome mat in front of this door?
There is not. It's actually a foot of water at the door.
So it's just a door, not a mat, a door?
It is very close to that. So,
Y'all are giving me heartburn.
with the heartburn that we give to Draho, we'll go ahead and end it there for tonight.
Small, but there's so much left at stake.
I'm done.
Hey,
I'm done. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming out to the stream. Have a good night.
You realize I'm just going to research cow puns for the next week, right, Draho?
Yes, and I know
Draho,
that I'm going to hear them.
Draho, do you have beef?
Discord.
Do you have beef, Draho?
Why do you guys do this? You know how I feel about puns.
Yeah, when you make them, they're okay. When we make them, you suddenly don't like them.
I've never made a pun on
Handbag.
on purpose, and I never knew it. I would have never known it was a pun if you guys hadn't picked that up.
Yeah, but we're going to keep milking this for all it's worth.
All right. So we're going to call it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for playing. We'll camp more puns for you next week.
Yeah.